next month and guarantee themselves a playoff place if they are not able to finish in the top two of that qualifying group. Exactly the same for Ukraine, but they know they need to win the game, and that'll be interesting to watch how Scotland approach it in that sense this evening. Let's see what happens. We're just about ready to go. Delighted to be here in Krakow and bringing you all the action on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Conor McNamara will keep us updated on Greece against Northern Ireland in Group C2 this evening. Scotland kick off, and they're in all white this evening with dark blue trim. They're playing from left to right as we look at it. The ball has been passed back to their captain, John McGinn. He's gone for the big diagonal, launched it into touch, really.
Deliberately.
Yeah.
No, that's deliberate.
Yeah.
They absolutely are trying to put the Ukrainians in the back foot, so that was put into touch. That wasn't meant to be played to a Scotland player, so different start from Scots today.
So many players missing for Scotland. We ran through them ahead of the game. I'll remind you of the team lineup in a second. Early challenge in hard on Ryan Fraser, playing wide on the right-hand side. He's caught, he's fouled. Scotland get a free kick.
That's a tough one from Mikolenko there. Straight on Ryan Fraser. And if you're playing in a game and you're 40 seconds into the game and you get a dull one in the ankle, it's not fun.
My mind goes back to a certain Scottish winger standing on my right who must have been on the wrong end of a few of those, Pat, I imagine, in your time. Yeah. Free kick, Scotland, a minute in. Ukraine 0, Scotland 0. McGinn with the free kick. It reaches the edge of the area. It's headed away, and Scotland come all the way back to goalkeeper Craig Gordon. Plenty of experience there, winning his 73rd cap this evening, the Hearts goalkeeper, all in green. Plays a ball down the middle of the pitch, and Matvienko, one of the Ukrainian centre-backs, ducks underneath it, and it comes back to their goalkeeper, Real Madrid's Andrei Lunin.
We had a chat last week about the expected shape of Scotland, and we're a bit shocked they're doing it again. It almost looks like a 4-4-2. With McGinn right up the park beside Shea Adams. That is ultra positive.
Ukraine 0, Scotland 0. Ukraine trying to play out. They've given the ball away. McGinn possibly an early chance. Lay off to Shea Adams. Shots deflected and wide, behind for a corner, and Scotland very nearly take the lead. They only need a draw tonight to win this group, get themselves ahead. They're really in business. That was a great chance.
Well, that's exactly the start that Stevie Clark wanted. Played it into the corner, then closed up, and by closing up, they eventually got the ball high up the pitch. Lovely play from John McGinn. He thought about having a left-footed shot from the left-hand side, little back heel instead. Got a deflection, so nearly went in, but Scotland got the corner. Scotland
scored from a couple of corners against Ukraine last week. Ryan Fraser delivers the ball in. That's headed away by Stepanenko. Attempted left foot volley from Aaron Hickey, who's winning only his 7th cap, the 20-year-old for Scotland tonight. Ukraine clear. John McGinn's back there. He knocks the ball out of play for a throw-in to Ukraine. So Scotland have Craig Gordon in goal. Aaron Hickey, the right back. Ryan Porteous, I'm sure we're going to talk more about him. The Hibs centre-back making an international debut for his country this evening alongside Jack Hendry. Celtic's Greg Taylor at left back. Ryan Jack and Callum McGregor in central midfield. Ryan Fraser on the right. Kenny McLean of Norwich City on the left. And then, as Pat says, John McGinn, I guess we'd say playing off, but as we've seen in the early stages, playing up almost alongside Shea Adams.
He's choosing his times to go and close down there, and he asked the questions of the two centre-backs. However, Ukraine are off again.
Yeah, attacking down the right-hand side, ball into the penalty area to their centre-forward Dovbyk. Scotland have dealt with that. They bring the ball out from the back. Shea Adams the only one forward. That pass not good enough to find him, and it goes out for a throw into Ukraine on the right.
Good read there by Ryan Porteous. Little dummy, I think he was surprised, Dovbyk, that Porteous read it. He read it brilliantly in the penalty area and just broke away with it. There wasn't any player to find, but that will give Porteous a little lift this early on.
Is it fair to say, Pat, for those who don't know him, he can be a little rash at times?
Yeah, but I mean, he's 23. He's young for a centre-back. Centre-backs, they take a long time to cook. We always say that about centre-backs, and when you go for them young, especially at international level, you are taking a chance.
Right, he's got some defending to do, Porteous, but he's ahead of Dovbyk there, gets to the ball first, plays it back to Craig Gordon, who clears the ball high in the air. It drops down inside the Scotland half. Porteous reads the header forward, dealt with it beautifully, controlled it and played it to Callum McGregor. There's little Greg Taylor in the left back role. Ukraine are in all blue with faint yellow trim on their kits, attacking this goal away to our left that the Scotland fans are situated behind. Longer ball forward from Hickey is looking for Fraser, doesn't reach him. Foul from John McGinn, little shove in the back there on the very talented young centre-back Ilya Zabani, who plays on the right-hand side of defence. They've got Andrei Lunin in goal. Timchik Alexander Timchik is the right back. Everton's Vitaly Mykolenko, the left back. Ilya Zabani, I've just mentioned, alongside Mikola Matvienko. He's on the ball right now, so that's the Ukrainian back four. In central midfield, Danilo Inatenko alongside Ruslan Malinovsky. And then ahead of them, Andrei Yarmolenko and Mikhailo Mudryk, either side of the centre forward, Artem Dovbyk. Scotland are pressing. Ukrainian goalkeeper Lunin has the ball at his feet. Just plays it out to Matvienko of Shakhtar Donetsk. He's able to come slowly forward inside his own half. Zabani moves alongside him, closed down by Shea Adams, comes back across to Matvienko. Players ahead making the runs. Matvienko holds on to it.
Stunningly high line Scotland are playing. I mean, it's so ultra positive, specifically because you know that there's a lot of pace. And that Ukrainian side, Mudryk particularly on the left-hand side, a little bit of a concern there for Scotland, because they basically can't afford to make one mistake with a ball over the top. 5.5
minutes gone here in Krakow. Ukraine 0, Scotland 0. Greece 0, Northern Ireland 0, and as far as I'm aware, in the Nations League, no goals as yet in all the 7:45 kickoffs. Hickey with defending to do for Scotland, runs back into his own penalty area, then he's caught. Mykolenko slides in, missed the ball and got the man, and that is a free kick for Scotland. They do have some fullbacks at their disposal. I mean, there's so many fullbacks missing, Pat, but here's a young man who's really impressing already.
I mean, it has been Hickey. To be honest, I'm not over concerned. You know, I mean, he is a young player, but I've watched him for a few years now through his initial breakthrough at Hearts and then going over to Italy, and he has grown very, very quickly, and he's playing against one of the most exciting players in European football just now. And Mudryk, and then over the other side, I mean, you're talking about Greg Taylor, who's not played that many games for Scotland, against Yarmolenko. So these are second and third choice fullbacks, but they're both capable of doing the job tonight. It's going to be, however, I wouldn't be surprised if the game is won and lost in those areas.
Yarmolenko toes a ball forward. Porteous is there to clear it for Scotland. McGregor stretches to win it back for Scotland just inside his own half in light, luminous green boots. Back to Porteous, who I think probably, thankfully for him, seeing lots of the ball in the early stages, getting his touches and doing well on his debut for Scotland so far tonight. Long way to go. Remember, Scotland only need a draw in the game. They start tonight 2 points ahead of Ukraine at the top of Group B1, having won 4 out of their 5 games in this group so far. Dovbyk is a handful up front. He plays the ball out wide to the player Pat was just mentioning. That's Mudryk. Back into Dovbyk, trying to get it back to Mudryk. He's into the penalty area with pace, down to the byline. Oh, there's the cutback, and he's missed it! Yarmolenko 6 yards out, volleys the ball over the bar, and he can't quite believe it, and nor can the Ukrainian fans right in front of us.
Well, it was set up there. If you want one player whose foot you want to land it on, from about 8 yards out is Yarmolenko, coming in from the right-hand side, dead on his left foot, and I don't think these Ukrainian fans, but maybe specifically Mudryk, can believe he missed it. What a fantastic chance. Well, as both teams had a chance, we're mentioning those classy wingers and those pure quality wingers have got. Well, they showed the quality there, didn't they?
8 minutes gone, 0-0, could be 1-1. Latest in League 2, Grimsby 0, Carlisle United 1 this evening. Ryan Fraser receives the ball with his back to goal inside his own half, scurrying forward, runs into Malinovsky, doesn't get the decision, and Scotland have got to be careful here. Here's Yarmolenko on the turn in the middle of the Scotland half, plays the ball back to Malinovsky. He works it wide out to the right-hand side, and back Ukraine come with possession just inside the Scotland half. That's Zabani. Zabani plays it to the right to Timchik, back to Zabani inside his own half. Across he comes to the fellow centre-back Matvienko as the Ukrainian fans start a chant around the stadium. Zabani to his right to Timchik, then to Yarmolenko. Greg Taylor right on top of Yarmolenko there inside Ukraine's half, putting the pressure on. Porteous then wins a header. It falls to Yarmolenko, little nutmeg to beat McGregor. Porteous there again for Scotland, makes an important interception. Here's McGregor, good skills from McGregor, but he's slightly overrun it, and Malinovsky takes it again for Ukraine.
One of the things that Scotland have had a problem with in the last couple of games, against Ukraine in the first 10, 15, 20 minutes, Ukraine were far the better side in the first game, but Scotland managed to get through it and then grew into the game and got better. Remember, they went a goal down against Ireland.
I thought the offside flag might go up there. It stayed down. Long ball over the top for Timchik to chase, and the flag has gone up, but the referee's going to play an advantage, and Craig Gordon rolls the ball out here into central midfield for Scotland, and there is Ryan Jack of Rangers. They play it to the left-hand side. Next break in play we'll get an early update on Greece, Northern Ireland in Group C2. Northern Ireland and Cyprus both starting level on points in that group. Northern Ireland in danger of potential relegation this evening. They can make sure that that doesn't happen if they win the game tonight. Let's hear from Conor McNamara actually on the early stages.
Yeah, difficult start here for Northern Ireland. Still Greece 0, Northern Ireland 0. But Jordan Thompson was one of 3 changes to the team tonight for Ian Barraclough. He was collided into by Mantelas with just over 3 minutes played. The VAR reviewed it for a potential red card, but deemed the collision was not worthy of that sort of further action. However, Thompson looked dazed and confused. The medical staff decided he shouldn't continue. He's been replaced by George Saville. Northern Ireland, who must at least match Cyprus's result against Kosovo tonight if they're to avoid relegation. Greece 0, Northern Ireland 0. Game back underway.
Scotland have won the ball high up inside the Ukrainian half. McGinn plays it to Fraser on the right. Ukrainian fans all around the stadium on their feet, jumping up and down, holding those national flags in their hands. But it's Scotland who are playing towards that Ukrainian goal at the moment. Porteous, nice pacey pass out to Greg Taylor. Greg Taylor's 40 yards from goal, wide on the left. McGregor comes to support, then tries to dink a little ball down the left for him. Headed away, McGregor's there again, and he comes all the way back to Craig Gordon. Other big games in the Nations League tonight. Portugal, Spain in Group A2. Portugal starting the night 2 points ahead of Spain, but if Spain win the game, they would go through to those Nations League finals next summer. And Norway, Serbia start level on points. That's in Group B4. I also notice that's a bit of Haaland against Mitrovic in Premier League terms this evening. So those two nations playing for promotion to the top tier. Now the boos, jeers, whistles are because Scotland are doing well and keeping the ball, Pat Nevin.
Yeah, they've needed to do that because they had a very, very sharp start. Scotland going for the first couple of minutes. Since then, Ukraine have looked to dominate the match. So intelligently, Scotland have tried to get on the ball, and they kept the ball there for 2 or 3 minutes. However, they have lost it.
Malinowski plays it forward to Dovbyk. Porteous wins the tackle. Horns blaring inside this small little stadium on the outskirts of Krakow, and Ukraine have worked it to the right. That fabulous chance for Yarmolenko. What can he do here? Curls a pass into the edge of the box to the centre forward. Dovbyk again tries to lay it off. Scotland intercept. Craig Gordon clears up towards Shea Adams. Adams can't control that ball and hold on to it for Scotland. Porteous with an acrobatic volley away, and then Yarmolenko slowly coming back from an offside position lets it go, and Craig Gordon has the ball at his feet. It's 0-0.
One of the difficulties Scotland have in this early part of the game, again I remind you, against Ireland, against Ukraine, we started slowly but grew into the game. We need to get the ball to Shea Adams' feet or his chest so he can hold it up, giving the players behind him a chance to give him a little bit of support. So far, Zabarny has done very well against Adams.
Scotland have lost it just inside Ukraine's half. Malinowski, he's the playmaker. Plays for Gasparini at Atalanta, has done for the last few seasons. Really nice mover with the ball. Ukraine have now lost it inside the Scotland half. Greg Taylor tries to nick a little ball down the left-hand touchline. Can't complete the pass, it goes out for a throw.
Just a wee bit of panic there from Taylor, understandable. You know, he's got Yarmolenko running towards him, but there was a pass inside. Ryan Porteous was waiting for it, and that gives Ukraine the ball back. And they do look a bit more comfortable on the ball, the Ukrainians, at the moment. So they are dominating, but they have only made that one chance.
Draw good enough for Scotland, don't forget that, because they're 2 points ahead in this group, in this final game. If they can get a draw this evening, draw or a win, they definitely win the group. They'll be in the top tier of the next Nations League, and it'll benefit them for that Euro 2024 draw. They'll come out of pot 2 of seeds, 9th of October, when that draw is going to be made in Frankfurt. Hickey battling hard, good physical battle with Mikolenko, holds him off and allows the ball to go out of play for a throw into Scotland on the right.
It's kind of hard for him because Mikolenko, you know, he always wants to get forward and he's constantly going there. But he's got him to worry about, but he's also got Mudryk to worry about. And those two, if they get a 2v1 against any player, particularly on that side against Hickey, it could be very, very difficult for Scotland. But so far, just about holding on. But I think all those Scotland fans went a wee bit quiet for a while there because they realised they're not getting a huge amount of possession.
Did enjoy on our journey over. There were lots of Scotland fans coming up to Pat, and as Kelly was asking, you sort of full of expectation because of what happened last week, and you were gently trying to temper it, I would say, Pat, weren't you?
Calm them down a little bit.
Bit of gentle realism, but they've started well here, Scotland. It's 0-0, and that result suits them, and they're on the ball inside Ukraine's half. 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Thrilling 3-3 draw at Wembley last night, of course, between England and Germany. If you missed the reaction to that, you can get it in that Football Daily podcast, available on the BBC Sounds app. And a goal in Greece. Conor McNamara.
Not good news for Northern Ireland. Greece 1, Northern Ireland 0. It was a cross from the right-hand side which was dropped by Peacock Farrell. He was under pressure, both one of his teammates and an attacker leaning into him, but he fumbled the ball into the path of Pelkas, who rolls it in. And Greece, who under their coach Gus Poyet, who've already won the group, they were beaten by Cyprus. It was a surprise result of the weekend. They'll be wanting to impress tonight. They have the early lead. It is Greece 1, Northern Ireland 0. Quarter of an hour played in Athens.
Kosovo 0, Cyprus 0. If it remained that way, those two results, then Northern Ireland getting relegated to the bottom tier of the Nations League, which would not be good. Long way to go. 15 minutes gone in the first half here in Krakow. Ryan Jack on the ball in his bright orange boots, quickly moves it out to the right. Hickey dummies across, brings the ball onto his left foot, moves infield about 35 yards from the Ukraine goal. Mudryk in late on Hickey there. Referee spotted it. There might have been an advantage to be played, but he's pulled it back, and the free kick's in a good position.
Actually, the referee's going to have a word at some point. That's 3 quite late tackles on Scotland players on that side. Well, he's taking my word. He's got his yellow card. I thought that was unacceptable, that tackle there. He'd let a couple go before then, but he's got his yellow card out there, and then he was right to do so. That
is Mykhailo Mudryk, 21 years old, winning his 8th cap this evening. Celtic players will know him well. Scored against them in the Champions League this season. Goal and 2 assists as well in Shakhtar's surprise win, you'd have to say, against Leipzig in their first game in the Champions League. But last week was a little quieter for the national team against Scotland. Let's see what Scotland can do with the free kick. John McGinn waits to take it with his left foot. Little pause here as our referee, Tassos Sidiropoulos of Greece, is just having a chat with all the players.
Temptation to try and find Porteous. He's a tall player.
Yeah.
He does score the odd goal.
Stands out, doesn't he? McGinn, now he chips this high and he's overhit it, and it goes all the way through and behind for a goal kick. He's sort of floating one up for those players to try and run onto it, and the likes of Shadham's got blocked, couldn't get anywhere near it.
It's one of those the angle ball there is quite simple. You put it in the line of the back post, and you hope if it doesn't touch anybody, it goes and falls and drops in there, and I think that's the ball that John McGinn was trying to play.
Yeah.
Sadly, it didn't work.
Greece leading Northern Ireland by a goal to 0 this evening. Under 21s action, by the way. England-Germany is a game friendly at Bramall Lane this evening. If you're interested in that one, available on the red button, the iPlayer and the website. So you could potentially watch that with the sound down and listen to us, but I'd say stay here and stay tuned to this one. It's going to be good. Hickey fouled again. He was on the run down the right-hand side. Mikalenko this time has caught the man and knocked the ball. Scotland get a free kick.
And it's not Mikalenko's first tackle that he'd been very, very late with. I think he was going for the ball, but he got absolutely nothing of it. And just down that left-hand side, I mean, certainly those are 2 very, very impressive players. But going forward, defensively, they've not really looked good on the left-hand side, the Ukrainians. So Scotland will try to get some capital from that.
Another attacking opportunity for Scotland. If they can get one, Ukraine then will need 2. McGinn's free kick is punched away by the goalkeeper Lunin. Fraser wins the header on the edge of the box for Scotland. Ukraine can't quite get it clear at the moment. There's Mikalenko, chases it hard out to the left, followed by Jack Hendry, and the ball goes out for a throw into Scotland. They're having a good spell, Scotland.
Yeah, it's a real lift. You can tell the players are left up, a bit more confidence. You know that they have quiet games at the start of games now and again. It can happen with Scotland, but they don't seem to panic. And just this last 2 or 3 minutes, they've really grown into it a bit.
Republic of Ireland have scored. They lead Armenia by a goal to 0, crossing to that Ukrainian penalty area. Yarmolenko is back there with an overhead kick to try and get it away. There's been another goal in Greece. The whistle blows. A free kick to Ukraine. Conor McNamara, what's happened?
It's an equaliser for Northern Ireland. Greece 1, Northern Ireland 1. Ian Barraclough's team were only behind for 4 minutes. Shane Lavery, one of the 3 changes in the team. A good cross on the left-hand side, and it was Jamal Lewis who sent it in. Lavery reacting well to side-footed into the net. Greece 1, Northern Ireland 1. 20 minutes played.
Thank you, Conor. calm Northern Ireland fans. That at the moment good enough to keep them in the third tier of the Nations League the next time it comes around. Here in Krakow, 19 minutes played, entertaining first half. Ukraine 0, Scotland 0. Draw good enough for Scotland tonight to win the group. That is what it is all about. Here's Hickey on the right, tries to feed one down the line to John McGinn. McGinn stretches, ball goes out for a Ukraine throw inside their own half on the left.
There's a real chance there. I certainly thought Fraser had made a direct run through the centre forward position there, just wanted the ball floated in behind the centre backs. They'd come up really high. There was a wee half chance there had the ball been played. Unfortunately, Aaron Hickey couldn't get the ball through.
John Egan, the goal scorer for the Republic of Ireland this evening. Now, is that going to be offside? Dovbyk, I think, knows he's offside here, gets to the ball. Flag doesn't go up, drags the shot well wide, and once he's done that, the flag does go up, and the assistant referee's got to do that in case it ends up in the back of the net. We do have VAR, yada, yada, yada.
Utter sham. Everybody knew. The entire stadium knew.
I know.
And so did Dovbyk, and he just thought, I'm just going to lever this ball away. And that's all he did. He smashed it away and thought to himself, let's go on with the game. Caught offside.
Pat, just one on sort of energy levels. I was just looking, so Scotland really have put a shift in the last couple of games. There's actually only 3 players in the side this evening who've sort of who've started all those games. So Hendry at the back, Callum McGregor and John McGinn.
Yeah, and then maybe the McGinn's the one you'd be most concerned about, because centre-backs you can sometimes cope with that because you're maybe not doing that sort of running. McGregor, sitting midfielder, maybe not those energy levels. But the work and the area covered by John McGinn, and the importance of that to his game and to Scotland's, success, that would be the biggest worry. So we'll see how many minutes to get out of John McGinn tonight.
Ball forward from Jack Hendry from deep. He sliced it slightly for Scotland. It's gone out of play for a throw-in on the left to Ukraine. So Ukraine need to win the game if they're going to win the group. And at the moment, it's a steady start from the home team. The home team, of course, ostensibly playing away from home. Here in southern Poland. The ball is loose inside Ukraine's half. Yarmolenko is deep and he's onto it. Oh, that's lovely with the outside of his left foot. Dovbyk is through, one-on-one, shoots, great save by Craig Gordon. The flag stayed down and Gordon was there to rescue Scotland.
Well, he's done it so many times in the past. That was very, very tight, but I thought he just about stayed onside. We've not got a monitor here that we can check, but it was a fantastic run, and that is the problem Scotland have got. They only need to get done once. And that was a beautiful ball from the right-hand side, curled in, and to be finished. To be honest, Dovbyk should have done better.
It was Modric-esque, wasn't it? Yeah, outside of the foot from Yarmolenko. Now, this is problems for Northern Ireland. No, it's not, I beg your pardon. Kosovo leads Cyprus by a goal to 0. That's good news for Northern Ireland. They're currently 1-1 away to Greece, starting the evening level on points with Cyprus, but ahead of them on the head-to-head record. So Cyprus behind, Northern Ireland level. Greg Taylor plays a low ball to his left-hand side. Scotland, oof, blimey, Yarmolenko's gone in so hard there.
That's dreadful.
With the challenge, it's a yellow card. Again, we don't have the monitor. It looked bad from here. I just wonder, Pat, whether video assistant referee might have a little look at that.
It just seems so straight-legged. We're a long way from that, but he seemed to go straight-legged. He was off his feet. That's a very, very dangerous tackle when you go in like that. Now, whether or not he caught him that hard, I don't know. Maybe he got his foot off the ground. Yeah, the referee's absolutely right. Minimum yellow card there.
Yeah, crazy challenge from Yarmolenko. Ukrainian players are clearly fired up, but that's 2 of the front 3 on yellow cards. It was Kenny McLean who thankfully has been able to pick himself up, and he's okay.
That was a forward tackle. We could call that a forward tackle. No idea how to do it, and a silly place to do it. Give Scotland a free kick in a dangerous area. We can be whipped in. 23
minutes gone in the first half here in Krakow. Ukraine 0, Scotland 0. Free kick is about 7-8 yards up from the byline on the left, and it's only just outside the penalty area. If Ryan Fraser can get the delivery right, it could be really awkward for Ukraine this. The whistle blows. Fraser with his right foot goes low, aims for the near post. Dovbyk is there to block it if it was squeezing in at the near post. Fraser then tries to get a cross in. That's blocked. Scotland want a penalty. They've got a penalty. Scotland have been given a penalty. That must have been a handball on the Fraser cross. Referees pointed to the spot. What an opportunity. And Ryan Christie, who scored from the penalty spot for Scotland of the weekend, is not here, not on the field this evening. Who is going to take this one for Scotland? Video assistant referee will consider the decision to make sure it's correct but at the moment Scotland have a penalty. Now that he's straight over immediately. The video assistant referee has called the referee over to the screen, and that says to me, Pat, that it's happened so quickly. I feel this might get reversed.
Yeah, I think it probably will be reversed. You know, he saw it definitely hit the hand. I mean, he's really confident about that, the referee. However, whether it's far too close or whether it hits a leg, comes up, then hits the hand is maybe the more important point.
Yeah, apparently I think it's hit him on the head, but it was just how quickly the referee was sent to the monitor makes me think that he's going to trot back out onto the pitch here and Scotland aren't going to get their penalty. Hang on, he's going to delay it. Yeah, he's going to change his mind. No,
I think he's pointing to the corner. He's pointing to the corner, surely. He's not very clear, is he?
He's not, is he? Right, it's not a penalty for Scotland, we know that. It's going to be
a drop ball?
A drop ball inside the Ukrainian penalty area.
Possibly the last thing I expected.
No, it's not. Is it going to be a drop ball or is it going to be a free kick?
I think he's given a drop ball and Scotland aren't going to contest it.
Yeah, you're right. I think that's what has to happen in that instance when the penalty isn't given and then the ball goes behind for a potential corner.
That's why we have VAR. So they can get those massive calls right. And he's had a good look at it. Better look at it we've had. And, he's made the decision. It seemed a wee bit soft when it happened. We didn't see that. It didn't look like a penalty from this distance, but I suspect he's got it right. Ever
so slightly confusing inside the stadium. If we got your hopes up, Scotland fans, we're sorry, but that is the way that VAR works. Oh, it's another strong challenge there on Hickey.
I think he's got to look at that in VAR.
This one from Itatenko, and the Scotland bench are up. They are very, very unhappy with some of the tackles going in. I mean, Scotland have lost so many players to injury already. They cannot afford to lose another fullback. And Itatenko, well, he's been booked. But it was nasty again. It was a real stamp on Hickey's ankle.
Look, I understand why you're going to be up for the win. You need to go and challenge and chase the game. But these aren't like hard challenges. They're kind of ugly. Their studs are showing. They're straight-legged, and you don't take a chance like that. And he's kept on going on Hickey. Hickey's foot's planted.
Yeah.
So that's a very painful one on Hickey there.
Scotland really need Aaron Hickey to get up, and you could see that was the straw that broke the camel's back for Steve Clarke and his coaching team. 3 yellow cards already for Ukraine. Ukraine 0, Scotland 0. Scotland thought they might have had a penalty. We've still not seen exactly what happened there, but the referee very clearly came out. And we're going to see it now, Pat. Fraser's cross. Yeah, it's the defender on the side of the head and nowhere near his arm.
To be honest, from where the referee is, it might have looked like that. So we give him his due. And again, we have VAR for a reason. And we don't often say well done when it works, but it worked well there.
27 minutes gone in the first half. Driving rain here in southern Poland. Plenty of drama out on the field. Plenty to play for as well. Ukraine 0, Scotland 0. Greece 1, Northern Ireland 1. And here's Shea Adams dribbling the ball up to the edge of the Ukrainian penalty area. Tackled by Matvienko. Free kick conceded this time by Scotland. Ukraine will have a chance to clear their lines.
Just a moment there, Matvienko. They seem to tackle in a very odd way. Matvienko goes with his left foot, but he turns away and leaves his leg straight again. He actually hurt himself making the challenge. It's very, very unusual tackling, the same from some of the Ukrainian players. And it may well be that there is a rustiness there as well. They're not played as many first-team games as they're used to.
Matvienko's ball forward with his left foot. Hendry reads it beautifully, intercepts it. Ryan Jack cushions a little header down to Callum McGregor. McGregor out to his left-hand side. Kenny McLean probably thought another hefty challenge was coming and gets rid of it quickly. Plays it back to Greg Taylor. Ball across to Jack Hendry inside his own half. Scotland have settled very nicely in this first half. Mudryk's on a yellow card. He's still flying in with the challenges. Knocks into Hickey there. Scotland have kept it. Here's Jack. Jack plays back to Hendry. Hendry is chased by Malinovsky. Scotland still have it on the left. Hickey tries to volley it forward. Gets a bit scrappy around the halfway line. Ooh, little step over from Hendry. That was nice.
Very confident at the moment, and considering the difficulty Scotland have had at centre-back for a long time, and they've played 3 centre-backs most of the time. But this little period just now, some of the younger ones are, they're growing, they're getting more confidence. And certainly that's part of Stevie Clarke saying to him, look, I trust in you two. There's 2 of you playing together. I'm not going to put an extra one in there. I'm just going to say, deal with it. They're top players, but so are you.
Ukraine have it inside their half. We have 16 minutes remaining in the first half. Still Ukraine 0, Scotland 0. Still good enough for Scotland were it to end that way, to win the group. And I tell you, it'll be some night in Krakow this evening for those Scotland fans, if that's what happens.
By the way, it's worth underlining it's filled out a wee bit of stadium as well, so it's
packed.
It's a really good atmosphere in here now.
Yeah, Callum McGregor. Good football from Scotland again. Nice one-touch stuff. McGinn was involved. Back to McGregor, across to Ryan Jack, inside the centre circle. Rolls it across here to Hickey. Great run from Shay Adams on the diagonal to the right. Gets to that ball by the byline and wins a corner for Scotland. Good stuff.
Yeah, real confusion there from that back line there. And one player just goes and steps up, thinks he's going to catch them offside. I think it was Mikolenko. The rest of the back line just stood. So it gave Adams a chance to go through. And it's been a good 15 or 20 minutes for Scotland. They're now beginning to control the midfield much more, but there is still massive danger on the break from the pacey Ukrainian wingers.
Sweden 0, Slovenia 1, latest in the Nations League this evening. Portugal, Spain remains goalless. Greece 1, Northern Ireland 1, but Cyprus are losing 1-0 away to Kosovo. McGinn with a deep corner to the far post, attacked by Porteous. Last touch came off for a Ukrainian player, so that'll be a corner for Scotland. Let's see what Scotland can do with the corner, and then we'll find out a little bit more on the Greece-Northern Ireland game and how that is developing. Switzerland 1, Czech Republic 0. Remo Freuler has scored the goal for Switzerland. Ryan Fraser clips the corner into the near post. Malinowski and Stepanenko jump for the header. Drops down loose inside the box. Here's a chance, and it's hit over the bar by Hickey. He was falling back. Ryan Jack, I beg your pardon, falling back, left-footed, hit it on the half volley, couldn't keep it down.
That's as good, if not a better chance than Yarmolenko had beforehand. That is a huge chance for Scotland. Really poor defending from the Ukrainians from the corner kick there. Didn't get it clear at all. Falls to his left foot, and from 7-8 yards, yes, it's at an angle, but the goal's wide open. Scotland should be ahead.
Looked like a foul on Porteous, that from Dovbyk. It's been given as a free kick to Scotland. It's on the halfway line. Callum McGregor's going to take it quickly. That's what Celtic love to do, having watched them a fair bit this season. And Scotland on the move down the right, sensing an opportunity. Hickey plays it back to Ryan Jack. What a chance for Ryan Jack. What a chance it was for Yarmolenko earlier on. Ukraine make the tackle. They win the throw. Let's hear from Conor McNamara on Greece-Northern Ireland.
Yes, 32 minutes played still. Greece 1, Northern Ireland 1. Northern Ireland relieved to be still level though, because Greece have had a huge chance. Low shot came back off the post, fell into the path of Pelkas, who had scored the opening goal. He should have had his second of the night, but wasn't able to get his feet coordinated quickly enough. Northern Ireland, who lost Jayden Thompson inside 3 minutes of the game. They were 1-0 down. Lavery made it 1-1. That's how it stands with just over 10 minutes to go to half-time.
Switzerland 2, Czech Republic 0. So the Swiss have scored 2 goals in quick succession. Briel Mbolo with the second in that one. 13 minutes remaining in the pouring rain here in Poland. Ukraine 0, Scotland 0. Hendry's ball up the line. Hickey under pressure from Mudryk. He's tackled. Throw into Scotland.
Not sure Hickey wanted the ball there. He's back to the goal. Player running in on him, but he managed to get a throw in, which is the best he could have got from that.
Just thinking about Conor McNamara's skills with the camera, Pat, and the beauty of Krakow. Oh, he would love it here, wouldn't he?
It would have been joyous.
There'd be some great stuff for you to see on social media if Conor was our man out doing this one tonight. Here's Yarmolenko on the ball for Ukraine inside the Scotland half, closed down by McGinn. Ball is passed back across the halfway line, played forward to Mudryk. Lovely first touch, had to stretch and control that. Mikolenko back into Mudryk in the inside left channel. Now Stepanenko, who is the hugely experienced Shakhtar holding midfielder for Ukraine. Over to the right it goes to Timchik. Back to the halfway line. Zabani, the young centre-back, plays a little 1-2 with Inatenko. Out to the right it goes again. Scotland keeping the press on. Ukraine playing through it at the moment. And chance here for Malinowski, bursting forward into the box, trying to get the ball onto his left foot. Wouldn't quite happen for him. Ukraine still have it with Timchik. Greg Taylor thought about a sliding challenge there, half pulled out of it. Yarmolenko on the ball, scuffs his cross into the penalty area. McGregor is there, thumps it clear with his left foot, and Shay Adams is just going to have to do his best to try and do something with it. He can't. Ukraine play back to their goalkeeper.
Good, intelligent, pacey attack. Good skills from the Ukrainians as well. but it's not been that regular in this first half. You know, that's the first real decent move they've put together in the last 10 minutes. However, here's another.
Yeah, a great diagonal ball right to left. Mikolenko early cross. Yarmolenko's not made the ground up. Greg Taylor's blocked it, and it's gone behind for a corner. I mean, decent ball from Mikolenko, no one there.
Yeah, I mean, what a pass that was from the right full-back sort of area, right into his feet. But I mean, that is when you're playing against a team that are playing quite high, which Scotland are. You know that gap's there, so you can turn and play a 70-yarder into that vague area. And I think Scotland are a wee bit lucky there. There was no one in the back post.
Ukraine 0, Scotland 0. And Scotland 11 minutes away at the moment from the half-time whistle. They're not going to be thinking about it like that. They're going to be thinking about trying to score first. Then Ukraine will need to draw good enough for Scotland tonight. Corner to defend. In it comes. Oh, headed down and wide by Stepanenko at the far post. The ball goes skidding off his forehead. And Scotland,
got lucky there. Ryan Porteous lost the man there, and he went up to go for it and absolutely missed it. Went straight over the top of his head. And I think that the attacker felt that Porteous was going to get the ball, so that slightly put him off because Porteous was up so early.
Porteous playing the ball out from the back, wide to the left to Kenny McLean. McLean back to Taylor. Taylor looks a little hurried, but eventually plays a curling pass down the left. Shea Adams gets a boot to it, and then it's him against Zabani. Good battle between the pair of them. Both go down. Adams is quicker to his feet. They get it back to their keeper, Lunin, who is Thibaut Courtois' backup at Real Madrid. What a touch from Malinowski. Dovbik's got to be offside here. He's onto the ball, wide on the right. Play continues. Dovbik still going. Shoots, blocked by Porteous. Gordon makes the save and the flag goes up.
Yeah, in an odd way, what seems to have happened here is Porteous has got injured. Everybody knew, I think, at that point in time that it was offside, but you know, it's happening so often now, and you're talking 4 or 5 yards off there. I mean, that's not even close.
I know, yeah.
But you can't stop, just in case. Well, 4 or 5 yards. I would say 3. I've got a nice view
It's
of it
well
here.
off.
It's so obviously
Get
off.
your flag up.
And the players know it, and they've got their hands up, and they think, well, maybe I've not seen something. So they go back and chase. But I mean, that wasn't even close, that one. It can be infuriating for the fans, but those are the rules. You've got to play for them.
England's under-21 still 0-0 against Germany at Bramall Lane. That's available for you on the Red Button iPlayer and BBC Sport website this evening. Ukraine 0, Scotland 0. Premier League back at the weekend. 4 commentaries across Saturday and Sunday for you on 5 Live. Liverpool-Brighton's our 3 o'clock offering on Saturday as we go around the grounds with Ian Dennis. 5:30 we've got full commentary on West Ham Wolves. Sunday, Manchester Derby in full at 2 o'clock. John Murray and I think Jonathan Woodgate doing that one for us. Leeds against Aston Villa is our commentary at 4:30. All available on 5 Live and the BBC Sounds app if you're on the move this weekend and you want to stay in touch with all the football. Ukraine clear from their right back position. 8 minutes remaining in this first half. Eventful first half, but still 0-0 crucially for Scotland. And McLean unable to keep the ball in on the left. Ukraine have a throw in an attacking position on the right-hand side. Albania lead Iceland by 1-0 in the Nations League. And Germany's under-21s have actually just taken the lead at Bramall Lane. Felix Nemecha has scored the goal.
It's one of the things that we were talking about, these offsides that Scotland have managed to get. 3 times Dovbik's been through, and 3 times he's been called offside. However, he's not scored with any of them. And that's a real lift for Craig Gordon. If you know it's just about 1-1 and you've managed to stop him 3 times, maybe Dovbik actually gets away one of these times. He'll have that in his mind that he's not been able to beat Craig Gordon yet.
Lovely bit of anticipatory defending from Ryan Porteous there, who stepped in front of, I think it was Malinowski, and was then fouled as he went to win the ball. I'm sure Craig Gordon will have gone into tonight's game thinking there might be an occasion. There's probably going to be at least one occasion this evening when I'm really going to be called upon to do the duty for my country, which he has done so many times for club and country before. So far it remains 0-0. Dovbik jumps with Hendry. The ball falls to Dovbik wide on the left-hand side. Hickey tries to stay with him. Dovbik dummies the cross, pulls it back. Pass intercepted by McGregor. McGregor volleys it away. Shadams again all on his own, chases the ball out to the right, can't catch it, and it goes out for a Ukraine throw. Pat Nevin.
Callum McGregor, when he does that, I mean, it looks as if he just got lucky and he's standing in the right place. There is nothing lucky about it. Callum McGregor reads the play so brilliant in that deep midfield area, time and time again.
Ukraine 0, Scotland 0. Mykolenko has the ball wide on the left, level with the edge of the Scotland box. Ball into Malinowski, hit it first time from a really difficult angle, well wide.
Yeah, to be honest, it's taken 39 minutes now. And the play that the Ukrainians have tried to do, where you get Mudryk, who's the left winger, goes inside and leaves a huge amount of space for Mykolenko to run into. It's not happened yet until now. Gets into a good area and, well, the cross wasn't good enough.
Thing is, Pat, the longer this game goes, the longer it stays 0-0. Ukraine need to win it. They're going to have to take a few more risks. That plays into Scotland's hands.
Yeah, there's two other sides to it. I mean, Scotland were the stronger team as the game went on at Hampden. They were physically stronger. Everything about their game looked better. On the other hand, Scotland haven't had as much rest, so it's really, really difficult to see where this is going to go now. But yeah, there will be a little bit of tension growing with those Ukrainian players just now.
Beautifully poised at the moment. 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Ukraine 0, Scotland 0. Greece 1, Northern Ireland 1. Clearance from Craig Gordon's gone straight out of play. Ukraine have taken the throw quickly. And it's Zabani who wears number 13, the right-sided centre-back. Just 20 years old, already winning his 24th cap this evening. Plays down the right to Yarmolenko, had the fabulous early chance, volleying over the bar from 6 yards out for Ukraine in this game. Matvienko, back to Zabani. Zabani, 10 yards short of the halfway line, traps the ball, rolls it forward, then plays it to his right. Timchik, back to Zabani. Shea Adams closing in, can't make the tackle. Lunin, the goalkeeper, gets involved on the edge of the box.
They're trying to tire Scotland out, playing along the back so that the likes of McGinn and Adams have to chase shadows there, and I can see that's good thinking.
Good build-up from Ukraine. Ball's with Yarmolenko wide on the right. He's running at Greg Taylor. Kenny McLean is back there to try and help. Timchik now crosses in. McGregor gets a header on it. Ball drops on the edge of the box. Stepanenko drives it, skids wide behind for another Scotland goal kick.
Yeah, it was good play. They played it along the back line. They had McGinn to some degree, Adams chasing along, and eventually, after taking a little while there, they passed it quite easily through Scotland's midfield. A slight concern for Scotland is, McGinn, who we talked about early on, very little impact in the game so far. And that's all about, making sure that the centre forward gets the ball and brings him into the play. John's not really been able to get into the game apart from, little cameos every, 10 or 15 minutes.
Goal kick for Scotland. 3.5 minutes remaining in the first half. Not been too many stoppages in the game. Shea Adams is able to control it and turn. Wide on the right inside Ukraine's half. Hickey plays it forward to McGinn, surrounded by 3 blue shirts. Very difficult to hold on to that, and he's not able to. Malinowski brings it away. McGregor sticks with him. The 2 number 8s going shoulder to shoulder. McGregor gets a toe in, knocks it out of play for a throw into Ukraine on the right.
Well, that's the other thing to underline about McGinn. They know how dangerous he is, and he got the ball there, and he had 4 blue shots right into him right away, giving him no space whatsoever to do that famous turn of his.
Ukraine playing forward again. Yarmolenko's dropped a bit deeper. Becomes record cap holder this evening. And just to tell you how good his international career has been, now playing his club football, by the way, in the United Arab Emirates after 4 seasons at West Ham. He's only 3 goals shy of Andrei Shevchenko.
That's not bad for a winger, is it?
Is very, very impressive to try and become the nation's record goal scorer. Mudryk, lovely curling pass to the right. Timchik's there, cross deflected. Oh, that was close. Gordon stretched. He wasn't sure. It's gone behind for a corner, I would have thought, to Ukraine.
Well, it should be a corner. We can see it really clearly from here. The referee and the assistant referee, just the angles they were at. They didn't see it. But as you can probably hear in the background here, every Ukrainian fan knows fine well that's hit a Scottish back.
I mean, that's what panicked Craig Gordon, because the cross was meant for players running in at the far post.
It's a massive deflection. It's gigantic.
Yeah. No, he's missed that. Very nearly went in. That has gone right across the face of goal. 2 minutes remaining in the first half.
It has ebbed and flow, hasn't it? There's a period there for 15-20 minutes. Scotland looked on top. But I'd say again, the last 10 minutes, once again, Ukraine have got their foot in the ball. They're looking very, very dangerous, looking to break that final line of ours. Longer
ball forward, headed away by Hendry. Malinowski pounces, plays it to his right. Look at the speed of Timchik going on the outside. Yarmolenko decides not to use him, holds on to it, 25 yards out. Forward to Malinowski. Malinowski with that silky touch, gets it back to Yarmolenko. Looking for Dovbyk. Porteous steps in, wins the ball for Scotland. Here's Callum McGregor. Plays it across to Kenny McLean. McLean took a bit of a risk there, tried to run it past Timchuk and didn't get there. Ukraine have it again. heading towards the last minute of the first half, and just sense a little danger here for Scotland in the closing stages of this first half. Still 0-0.
Just a real inability to hold on to the ball just now. You know, Ken McLean giving it away there, but he didn't have much on ahead of him. He's basically Che Adams up there with 2 or 3 men around him, so really difficult. Scotland just want to survive now till the half.
Jack Hendry does well, saw that ball coming into Mudryk, stepped in and intercepted. Callum McGregor plays an optimistic pass down the left wing. Che Adams can't chase that one. Ukraine collect possession inside their own half, turn and come again.
You can see they're actually pushing it now. Timchuk's going on that right wing. He's not playing fullback, anything like it anymore. He's getting up the wing. Yarmolenko's going inside, and that's creating an overlap. And Greg Taylor, who's done well so far, but he really is getting stressed at the moment.
Inatenko in central midfield for Ukraine. High floated ball to the left. Mikolenko chests it down, closed down by Aaron Hickey of Scotland. Plays it back to Matt Bienko. Stepanenko's dropped deep in between the 2 centre-backs, immediately launches one long. Mikolenko battling with Hickey. 2 of them almost wrestling off the ball there. Hickey does well, shadows it out of play. That'll be a goal kick for Scotland. 2 minutes of added time at the end of the first half. Ukraine 0, Scotland 0, and the rain continues to fall. We walked to the stadium, Pat. Just looking at that, what are you thinking about journey home?
If Scotland get the point they need, I don't care.
You'll be singing in the rain.
I'll be floating home.
You will be. Goal kick for Scotland. Czech Republic have one back against Switzerland. Patrick Schick has scored. Carlisle have a second in League 2. Away to Grimsby, they lead that one by 2-0. An important goal in the Nations League. Serbia 1-up away to Norway. Dusan Vlahovic has scored there. If Serbia win the game, they will win the group and they will be promoted to the top tier of the Nations League, which is exactly what Scotland and Ukraine are both playing for here. Ball is high in the air inside the Ukraine half. We're in added time at the end of the first half. Sweden 1, Slovenia 1 are latest. And I can see Folarin Balogun has equalised for England's under-21s against Germany at Bramall Lane. So that is 1-1. Goals going in these 7:45 kickoffs, close to the half-time whistle. Ukraine take a throw inside their own half. Mikolenko clears on the half volley with his left foot. Porteous wins the header. Stepanenko launches it up in the air. Yarmolenko will chase. The ball drops, and that's out for a throw into Scotland.
That was close. I think the assistant referee had his flag up before that ball went out, and Yarmolenko surprised him because he got very close. Maybe, probably, possibly did keep it in.
20 seconds remaining in the first half. Throw in for Scotland inside their own half, and they have coped. They've more than coped, actually, so far this evening with all the absentees. McTominay suspended as well, and there we go. They're halfway there. Scotland need a draw this evening to win this group, and at half-time, Pat Nevin, it's 0-0. They've had chances. Ukraine have had chances. It's been well matched.
Yeah, it's been well matched. I think possibly Ukraine, shaved it slightly. Just with possession, maybe not necessarily with chances, but you would expect that in the away from home game. But the work rate's been there. Everything you would ask if you're Stevie Clarke has been there. The organisation's been quite good. Now and again, the quality's beginning to look as if it could break through. But it needs to break through. And when it gets through, it has to get past Craig Gordon. And so far, he's looked good. And that's important to Scotland.
In terms of the drama in that first half, Scotland given a penalty that shouldn't have been a penalty, quickly overturned by VAR. So far, so good for Scotland and the soggy Tartan Army in the pouring rain in southern Poland. Ukraine 0, Scotland 0.
Ali, it's not been the only time the referee's been in the spotlight in that first half. It has been feisty, to say the least, Pat.
I think mostly from the Ukrainian side, I have to say. I don't think Scotland have been thrown in particularly bad challenges, but there's been certainly the 3 yellow cards so far. One of them was, real borderline. Should it have been a red? And it was reckless. And to be fair out here, look, it's been raining for a few hours now. It is, slippy out there. It is, slick out there. And now and again, you can make the odd dodgy tackle, especially if you're overexcited. But to be honest, I thought the referee was a little bit light on the Ukrainians before he finally gave up and gave his first followed by second innings, third yellow card. So there's a number of players out there that have to be a wee bit more circumspect with their challenges from here on in.
Kelly, there's a little Ukrainian fan standing right in front of us who suddenly spotted Pat talking into a strange thing, one of these lip mics that we use. He couldn't take his eyes off you there. What on earth is that man doing?
Is it Pat or is it the lip mic that's confusing him? That's what we'll never know. Pat, Nevin, Alistair, Bruce Ball, thank you very much. We'll be back with them in Krakow for the second half of Ukraine against Scotland. Goalless at half-time. Alan Hutton is also with us. Alan, who do you think had the better of that first half?
Well, I think Ukraine just edged it. If obviously I'm going to be honest, I think they had the bigger chances. Yarmolenko, Dovbyk had great opportunities, but also Scotland had good chances within the game. So Steve Clarke will be happy, obviously, to get them in at half-time 0-0. So far, so good, as ABB said. And it's going along well. I think more of the same in the second half. It has been a little bit feisty, to be fair, but what's at stake? Obviously, topping this group, it's massive for both nations. So they're going to go hammer and tongs for it. So it's been a good first half, but like I said, happy at 0-0.
Yeah, another 45 to come in that one. Elsewhere in Scotland's Nations League group is currently Republic of Ireland 1, Armenia 0. Northern Ireland are in Nations League action this evening as well. They're playing Greece. Conor McNamara is watching. It's half-time, Conor.
Yes, and it's Greece 1, Northern Ireland 1. Greece took the lead after 14 minutes through Pelkas. Northern Ireland were to equalise 4 minutes later through Lavery. Nice side-footed finish into the bottom corner. It was a game that was very feisty in the opening 10-15 minutes. It sort of became a bit more stale as the half progressed, and maybe that might be because of the way the group looks at the moment. Remember, tonight Northern Ireland must at least match Cyprus's result against Kosovo, and at the moment in the other game that's being played at the moment, Kosovo are 2 goals in front against Cyprus, so it's going well for Northern Ireland as it is. Greece, remember, have already won the group, so 1-1 is no harm to them. Kosovo would finish second at the moment, Northern Ireland third and safe from relegation if it's to stay like this. At half-time in Athens, Greece 1, Northern Ireland 1.
Conor, thank you very much for that. England's under-21s in international friendly action against Germany at Bramall Lane. That one is currently 1-1, and you can watch it on the Red Button, the iPlayer or the BBC Sport website. And there's one game in League 2 this evening. It's currently Grimsby 0, Carlisle 2. Coming up, second half commentary of Scotland against Ukraine. We'll be back in Poland very shortly. First, though, here's the news on 5 Live with Matthew Bone.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Sir Keir Starmer has told the Labour Party conference that the Conservatives have crashed the economy and that they should not be forgiven by voters. Speaking in Liverpool, he said the government had given tax cuts to the richest 1% of society and blamed the Chancellor Kwasi Kwarteng for the fall in the value of the pound. The Prime Minister Liz Truss has yet to comment on the negative market reaction to the budget announcement on Friday. Our political editor Chris Mason is at the conference.
Keir Starmer hopes that he can effectively move towards the political territory that he thinks Liz Truss has vacated. And there's no doubt an optimism here, but he has to translate that to the wider electorate. And even his biggest supporters here will acknowledge he doesn't necessarily have as much va-va-voom as the very man he was referring to and used the words of in his speech, Tony Blair.
The Bank of England has indicated that interest rates are likely to rise sharply as a result of the government's decision to cut taxes and increase borrowing. Hugh Pills said a significant monetary policy response will be required. A small number of lenders have temporarily halted mortgage offers. Royal Mail workers are to take a further 19 days of strike action across October and November. The commercial workers' unions organising the walkouts in a long-running dispute over pay and conditions. The strikes will come during a peak time for the postal service in the run-up to Christmas and will include major shopping days like Black Friday and Cyber Monday. The Labour MP Rupa Hook has been suspended from the parliamentary party. It's after she described the Chancellor as superficially black. And next year's Eurovision Song Contest will be held in either Glasgow or Liverpool after the shortlist of cities was cut from 7 to 2. The BBC said the 2 remaining contenders had the strongest overall offer and a final decision will be made within weeks.
Brand new drama on BBC iPlayer.
Why didn't I appreciate ordinary life? How fragile it all was. You thought you were choosing your life, but actually, you were just heading towards that moment. Well, what's going on? Did you see what happened? Men, 5 or 6 of them killing people.
What's happening? You have to tell us. There's an emergency.
They've gone inside the hotel.
This way, in here.
Starring Keely Hawes.
If only I'd known. It was always going to end like this.
Crossfire. Watch tonight on BBC iPlayer.
This is 5 Live Sport with Kelly Cates.
Hello, welcome back to 5 Live Sport. We'll be back to Krakow very shortly for the second half of Ukraine against Scotland in that big Nations League game, which is currently goalless at half-time. Sarina Wiegman has announced her squad for the upcoming England-friendly games against the USA and the Czech Republic. Fran Kirby and Chloe Kelly are back in after coming back from injury. Also, first senior call-ups for Lucy Parker and Jess Park. The game against the USA will be the first time the Lionesses have played at Wembley since their Euros win in the summer. And Wiegman says those memories will forever stay with the squad.
Yeah, I think that will always be with us. Of course, we're looking forward and we're moving forward, but it's really, really good and really nice that we have this experience. So it always connects us.
And the USA, for yourselves, the next game coming up, it is going to be really competitive. You've named a really youthful squad with some of the new additions that you brought in, the likes of Jess Park, who was so impressive in the Merseyside derby, wasn't she? Are you going to expect that same kind of freedom, creativity and the confidence from those players that have shown that in the first 2 weeks of the Women's Super League? Do you want to see them do that?
I hope so, yes. Of course I hope so. But you know, when players come in for the first time, they have to adapt and get used to the new situation, and sometimes a little bit overwhelming. I just tell them, come in, show what you can do and enjoy, and from there we'll see what happens. We will bring them in because they did really well with the club and they're very talented players. So it just takes some time.
Lucy Parker was the other player who hasn't yet had an England call-up. I'm sure she'll be delighted to come and join you in the squad. What was it about her that really impressed you during her time at West Ham so far?
I think she did really well with West Ham. I think she's very athletic. And the courage to she makes choices all the time, in possession, out of possession, so she takes action, and that impressed us. I just want to see how that relates when she's coming into our squad.
And Chloe Kelly and Fran Kirby obviously coming back into the squad as well. Not only will that give a boost to the fans, I'm sure, that want to see those players back in, but for their teammates as well, that must give you a real lift going into the USA game.
Yeah, it's just, first of all, very nice for them that they're fit again and they're playing for their teams. And then it's really nice they come in too, because they're quality players.
That's Sarina Wiegman ahead of England's upcoming friendlies against the USA and the Czech Republic. Women's football journalist and broadcaster Flo Lloyd-Hughes joins us now to discuss the squad announcement and those coming friendlies. Evening, Flo. What do you think of the selection for the squad?
I think there were definitely some surprises in there. I expected Sarina Wiegman to stick more with the squad that had been part of the last international window when they kind of finished off their World Cup qualification, and also more of the squad that featured for the Euros. But we've seen some players fall out of that group, some new players come in, and I think it definitely sends the message, just 10 months away from the start of the World Cup next summer, that there are still a lot of places in that squad that are up for grabs despite that massive win this summer.
What about the call-ups then for Lucy Parker and Jess Park? Were they sort of knocking on the door?
I think Jess Park, certainly. I mean, she's someone who's been playing for City since she was about 16, 17 in the senior squad. And last couple of years, she's really broken through and established herself in that first team. But I think she still needed a bit of development. So she's someone that probably would more realistically fit into the under-23 England squad. But Sarina Wiegman certainly sees it as an opportunity to see how she can settle into the seniors. I think Lucy Parker is definitely surprising. I think a lot of people thought that Maya Letitia would be the natural fit to come in as Lotte Wubben-Moy was likely to drop out. So I think that Parker is definitely the biggest surprise.
What about the return to Wembley for the first time since the Euros final win? And I know we heard Sarina Wiegman for that, but it's not just a special moment for the side, but also for fans who want to go and support them and relive it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the queue online to get tickets for this game was a bit like Glastonbury. People were kind of like numbered 45,000 in the queue for tickets. They waited about 4 hours online and still couldn't get any. So, yeah, the expectation, the anticipation, the excitement for this is huge. And, it is a friendly, but I think because of where these two teams are right now, it doesn't feel like that. It feels far more competitive. It feels like it's worth a lot more as two of the most exciting and best teams in the world, just 10 months away from the World Cup, face off and get a real good idea of who might be in the final for that tournament next summer.
Yeah, really early indications ahead of the World Cup from that game. Flo, really good to talk to you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Cheers, Kelly.
Thanks very much to Flo Lloyd-Hughes there, joining us to bring us up to date with everything that's happening with the England women's squad. In other sport headlines, Liam Rosenior has left Derby County after discussions with the club following the appointment of Paul Warne as their new head coach last week. Fabian Delph has announced his retirement from football. He won the Premier League twice with Manchester City in a career which spanned over 16 years. Former Worcester Warriors chief executive Jim O'Toole believes the Premiership's salary cap should be cut by around a fifth to help prevent clubs from getting into financial trouble. Worcester Warriors were suspended from all competitions yesterday after failing to meet an RFU funding deadline. And you can hear lots more about rugby's financial crisis in the latest Rugby Union Weekly podcast with Sarah Orchard, Ugo Monnier and Danny Kerr. They're joined by Warriors defence coach Nick Easter to discuss what next for the club's players and coaches, and yet that's available via BBC Sounds. Meanwhile, we're just a couple of minutes away from heading back to Krakow. Big game in the Nations League as Scotland and Ukraine battle it out to finish top of the group. It's occupied by Scotland. A draw would be enough for them. It's currently 0-0. But if Ukraine manage to get a winner in this game, then they will finish top of the group, which of course has implications for promotion to Pot A, and of course in terms of seeding and potentially qualifying for future World Cups. It's got long-term repercussions, this game. Scotland is still very much in it. Alan, as we said, it was quite an intense first half. Chances for both sides, probably definitely the better of them, falling to Ukraine. What are you expecting from the second half?
Look, Scotland are in a good position at this moment in time. It's 0-0. They don't have to go out and attack the game. That's up to Ukraine. So that hopefully that's going to leave opportunities for Scotland to go then press and make something happen. So they're in a good position at this moment. Keep it the same. They've got players that can come off the bench if they need legs to go and change it. So they're in a good position at this moment in time. It's all up to Ukraine to go out and try and make something happen. So more of the same. Just try and get another couple of opportunities in at the goal.
Alan Hutton back with us at full time in this one, taking you through the match itself. Pat Nevin and Alistair Bruce-Ball.
Thank you, Kelly. Teams are out. The ball is on the spot on the halfway line. Ukraine 0, Scotland 0. You've explained it perfectly. Draw good enough for Scotland tonight to win the group and reap all those benefits you were just talking about. We're just about ready to go. And stamina and energy levels in this second half, Pat Nevin, going to be absolutely crucial considering what this Scotland team have given over the last week.
Without a doubt. But the other thing is the psychology for Ukraine. If they lose a goal at any point now in the second half, they are seriously up against it. So there's a tension there as well. It's really, really set to be a stressful 45 minutes for all concerned.
Enjoy it with us on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Referee just building the tension by delaying the kick-off to the second half. We're back underway. Ukraine all in blue, yellow trim, playing from left to right in the second half. Scotland all in white with dark blue trim, defending that goal away to our right-hand side. And their loyal band of singing supporters, the Scots, away to our left with loads of saltires draped all over the front of the stand that they're in, away to the left-hand side. No changes made by either manager at half-time. Scotland threatening early with John McGinn looking for Ryan Fraser speeding away down the right. Mikolenko clears on the turn with his left foot. Hickey's done well to win it for Scotland. Then he's stopped in his tracks by Inatenko, but Scotland have won it again. Fraser back to McGinn. McGinn cleverly leaves that edge of the box. Callum McGregor was waiting. Greg Taylor with his left foot gets underneath the shot and blasts it over the bar, and behind it goes for a goal kick.
Well, you can't blame him for having a go, but he's not getting many situations there where he's been able to have a shot, but you keep them down. You know, it's skiddy out there. Keep it low. You never know, you might get a deflection. If it hams it well over the crossbar, it's not going to endanger anyone. But yeah, a little bit of hope for Scotland there.
Heavy rain continuing to fall. I would say one golden chance apiece actually in the first half. Ryan Jack shooting over the bar from close range for Scotland. Yarmolenko very early on in the game with a volley at the back post 6 yards out that he put over the bar.
Well, certainly in the first minute or so, Scotland had what was a half chance down there as well. It took a deflection, but it was one of those ones that could have gone in. So not a huge amount, but yeah, one absolutely golden chance for both sides.
Rain is still falling here in Krakow. Craig Gordon's in goal for Scotland. Jack Hendry, one of the centre-backs, playing a ball into the heart of the Scotland midfield. Shay Adams can't get there, nor can Kenny McLean. Timchik, who's the speedy right-back for Ukraine, brings it forward, plays a nice pass to Yarmolenko. He's overrun it and the ball's gone out of play. So Aaron Hickey, the 20-year-old who plays his club football now at Brentford, right-back for Scotland. Greg Taylor of Celtic at left-back. Ryan Porteous on his debut alongside Jack Hendry. Ryan Jack and Callum McGregor in central midfield. Ryan Fraser wide on the right. Kenny McLean of Norwich on the left. And John McGinn playing off Shay Adams up front. Lyndon Dykes waiting on the bench to come on, having scored 2 against Ukraine. 2 headers from set pieces against Ukraine last week. Scotland have conceded a free kick inside their own half, midway inside their own half.
Slightly harsh one, that. I think Scotland, Zabarny gets the ball, he wins it, but I think he goes down very easily there, but they've just taken it.
Yeah, Yarmolenko has managed to drag the ball back to Timchik, and Ukraine have possession, but it's deep, just inside their own half. Matvienko across to Zabarny. Zabarny to Timchik. Down the right-hand side to Yarmolenko. Yellow number 7 standing out on the back of his blue shirt. Drives the ball across field with his right foot. Mikolenko plays it to his left. Here's Mudryk. Mudryk with his right foot. Gordon with the save. It might fall to Yarmolenko. Dovbik's there as well. And Dovbik actually decides to let it go behind for the corner. Gordon was tested and he was up to the examination again.
Yeah, I mean, real pace there. That's going in the corner there. He's leathered it. Craig Gordon not only had to make the save, but he had to put it into a wide and less dangerous area. He managed to do that brilliantly. That's a couple of very good saves from Craig Gordon already.
3 minutes gone in the second half. Ukraine 0, Scotland 0. Greece 1, Northern Ireland 1, and Cyprus 2 down against Kosovo in that group, which is good news for Northern Ireland. Looks like they're going to be staying in the third tier of the Nations League for the next edition. Corner into the Scotland penalty area, headed away to the edge of the box. Mudryk, it was an awkward one for him to control. That is a foul on Porteous, edge of the box. Referee's going to play advantage here. Ryan Fraser on the ball on the left-hand side. Crosses the halfway line, plays it to Callum McGregor. He can't control it. Ukraine have given it away inside their own half. Fraser has it again on the left for Scotland. Little ball to McGregor. Ryan Jack right behind him. Jack works that really well. Bit of skill. Plays it out to his right-hand side. Here's Hickey. Hickey gets his left foot underneath the ball and floats one across to Fraser. Scotland try and pick the pace up again there with Taylor and Fraser exchanging a little 1-2. Oh, Fraser's crossed into a dangerous area, but Andre Lunin, the goalkeeper, is able to dive forward and grab the bouncing ball.
It's a real shame. That's a great position Scotland getting themselves into. The ball's played in there. There was a massive gap. It just dropped to no one. And the keeper just walks forward, Lunin, and picks it up there. But I think he breathes a huge sigh of relief that just quite simply it never fell to a white shirt. But a really good reaction there from Scotland. You know Ukraine are going to come out in the second half and go and try and put Scotland under pressure. But good reaction there from Scotland.
Ukraine fans all around the stadium bouncing again, supporting their team, supporting their nation. Long ball aimed at Mudryk. Hickey's got his hands full here. Mudryk is trying to turn him on the edge of the Scotland box. He has the ball for Ukraine. Lays it back here. Shot driven in and Craig Gordon is there. Inatenko hit it well. It was heading for the bottom corner. Safe as houses. Gordon again not only saves it but holds it.
This is going to be one difficult 40 minutes because it has started off at a huge pace there. There's another possible injury for a Scotland player there. I'm trying to see who it is. That ball actually could have taken a deflection. In fact, I think it did from McGregor. But look at another Scotland player's down. Let's just hope it's not another centre back. Probably is. It usually is for us.
Kosovo 3, Cyprus 0, so that's very good news for Northern Ireland, who are ahead of Cyprus already on the head-to-head record. They're still 1-1 away to Greece. Michael Obafemi, actually, I see, has got a second for the Republic of Ireland in this group, leading Armenia by 2-0. Armenia already relegated. And Conor Gallagher, Pat, has scored for England's under-21s.
Oh, fabulous.
So they are 2-1 up against Germany, and you can watch that on Red Button, iPlayer, and BBC Sport website, that under-21 international friendly at Bramall Lane this evening.
By the way, it looks like Hickey, and he looks very uncomfortable down there.
Right.
Trying to see what it is. Maybe a shoulder problem. It's difficult to see from where we are. We're quite a distance away.
if you're going to go like for like here, Hickey playing at right back, they do have Anthony Ralston of Celtic on the bench, don't they?
We're down to their 7th choice fullback.
Yeah.
Which
he's good though.
Which isn't bad actually, because Ralston is no slouch and a player you would feel really confident or capable of doing it at this level against a good team. But up against a very, very good player in Mudryk, who is warming to his task at the moment.
I was just going to say, Pat, he's livened up a bit, hasn't he, since the break, and been a little bit more involved.
To be honest, he could have got another yellow card before, just in the break before there. He threw in a tackle, and the play went on for a long time and sort of made the referee's decision for him.
Zabani, the 20-year-old centre-back for Ukraine, trots into the Scotland half, plays the ball back to Inatenko, central midfielder for Ukraine. Ball over the top from Matvienko, looking for Yarmolenko. Yarmolenko is able to chase it and collect it, but the offside flag goes up. We kind of knew that was coming. Inatenko in that central midfield role, winning only his 5th cap this evening. He's actually playing in the 2nd tier of French football at the moment. He was on loan at Bordeaux last season. They got relegated and he's stuck with them. So that's where he's playing his club football at the moment. It's still Ukraine 0, Scotland 0. 7.5 minutes gone. Second half, Scotland only needing the draw. I say only needing the draw, needing the draw to win the group and get promoted to the top tier of the Nations League. Porteous up towards Fraser, trying to turn one round the corner to Hickey, who seems to be okay. He's back running again. The ball has gone out for a throw into Scotland inside their own half on the right.
Keep on looking at Hickey as you're looking over towards the bench. He's had a couple of little glances, but he looks as if he's going to be fine.
Timing of substitution is going to be absolutely crucial for Steve Clarke in this second half. Now then, this looks promising for Scotland. Ball swept wide to the left. Kenny McLean has it. Greg Taylor was bombing up on the outside. McLean couldn't quite find him. Plays back to Callum McGregor. McGregor just inside Ukraine's half. His pass forward headed away by Stepanenko. Here's Yarmolenko trying to feed one through. I mean, Dovbyk is absolutely miles offside, and the assistant referee finally has decided, no, I'm sure about that, I'll put the flag up.
Yeah, that was only a yard off. That was a yard and a half, maybe. I mean, it's such a dangerous game to play that Scotland are playing just now. It's such a high line. And Dovbyk, he just wants to do the same thing, but he will turn and he will leg it. Just run out into space. And that Yarmolenko's well capable of playing that ball and the right ball. But so far, I'm not saying Scotland have got lucky. They've timed it well, but you only have to get it wrong once.
4th goal for Kosovo against Cyprus in Northern Ireland's group. Kosovo 4, Cyprus 0. Ukraine 0, Scotland 0. Ukraine trying to play out from the back. Shea Adams makes a block on the clearance. Shea Adams trying to get onto McGregor's pass. Ukraine scramble the ball away. Yarmolenko controls it well. Stepanenko trying to play through the middle. Brilliantly read by Porteous, commanding interception. Pass forward to Callum McGregor. McGregor chased by Stepanenko, who's not necessarily the quickest. McGregor realises that. Thought about taking him on the outside. Plays it back to Greg Taylor. And Scotland have it inside Ukraine's half. Nice, crisp, low passing, moving the ball around, making Ukraine run. Ukraine need to win the game to win the group, and time just ticking away from them. 10 minutes gone in the second half, 0-0.
Yeah, again, Scotland, they're so well drilled by Stevie Clarke. When they get the ball high up the pitch and they think they can do a press, they are very, very dangerous on it. And Scotland almost got half a chance there when they did that. Again, first 5-10 minutes, second half, a lot of pressure from Ukraine, high tempo. Scotland saying, right, we need to cope with that. And so far, Scotland have dealt with it.
Alexander Mitrovic, I see, has scored for Serbia. They're heading for promotion to the top tier. They are 2-0 up away to Norway. Next break in play we get here. We'll check in on Greece, Northern Ireland. Conor McNamara is watching that one for us this evening. But Scotland at the moment keeping possession, frustrating Ukraine. Porteous plays the ball across his own half as the rain continues to drum down here in Krakow. Fraser plays forward to Hickey. Hickey's tackled, thought he should have had a throw, doesn't get the decision, holds on to the ball, and there's a bit of push and shove with Mykolenko. Let's bring Conor in, watching Greece, Northern Ireland.
Yes, approaching the hour mark. Greece 1, Northern Ireland 1. Both goals came in the first half. Pelkas for Greece, Lavery for Northern Ireland. And most of the jeopardy has been erased from this game because of that scoreline you gave with Kosovo 4-0 ahead of Cyprus tonight. Remember, Northern Ireland just needed to match Cyprus's result. So it's looking good for Northern Ireland to avoid relegation in the Nations League. Greece 1, Northern Ireland 1 for now.
Thank you, Connor. Ukraine 0, Scotland 0, and that means it's looking good for Scotland at the moment. Still over half an hour to play. Ukraine fans urging their team on. At the moment, Zabani has the ball inside his own half. McGinn stands off him. Zabani then chips one forward. Greg Taylor's going to let that bounce. Yarmolenko will chase him down the right-hand side. Taylor trying to use his body to shepherd the ball out of play, and out it goes for a Scotland throw.
He's done well, Taylor, but he's actually growing into the game even more. And there's a real confidence about him. He's against Yarmolenko. He's about 7 or 8 inches taller than him, but he's just not been intimidated. He's really grown into this, but it's all about concentration at this point in time. You play against players like Yarmolenko, you only need to take your eye off the ball once. They go score inside with the left foot and he can score from anywhere, so concentration is big now.
Former Scotland international Pat Nevin with us here in the stadium in Krakow. Scotland with defending to do. The ball is loose inside their half. First time ball from Inatenko out to Mudryk on the left-hand side. Hickey's concentrating, watching that ball. Mudryk's cross into the penalty area, headed away by Hendry. Only reaches Inatenko. Inatenko suddenly has Ryan Jack for company. Plays the ball back here to the right back Timchik, who's well forward in the attack. Zabani back to Timchik. 30 yards from the Scotland goal, moving forward quickly, tries to cross in. McGregor blocks. Here's Stepanenko. Stepanenko's ball into the far post beyond Mudryk, and behind it goes for a goal kick to Scotland. Ukraine 0, Scotland 0.
Well ushered there. I mean, see Stevie Clark getting actually a wee bit animated down there. He's looking over at Porteous. He's looking over at his other centre back Hendry there. Really impressed with them because they didn't do anything. They just nudged the attacker out of the way and just let the ball fly out. And he knows the importance of not just the big tackles but the clever little bits of play. That's what gets you by sometimes in international football.
I think I'm right in saying Portugal-Spain still goalless in the second half this evening. If that remains that way, Portugal will win that group. They'll join Croatia, Netherlands and Italy in the Nations League finals next year. Scotland are giving the ball away. McGregor's back there to try and deal with the trouble. Chased by Dovbyk. Dovbyk makes the challenge. I think it's a rash challenge. He's fouled McGregor, and Scotland get away with one. There's been a goal in the game between Greece and Northern Ireland. Conor McNamara.
It's a goal for Greece, who lead Northern Ireland by 2-1. Masseras finishing calmly, slotting it right-footed beyond Peacock Farrell. Poor defending, though, for Northern Ireland, who were spread very thin at the back as the ball came into the penalty area. This doesn't affect Northern Ireland's position in the group. They remain third and off the foot of the table because Cyprus have been beaten so heavily by Kosovo. But Northern Ireland, who had been on level terms, now trail. Greece 2, Northern Ireland 1. Masseras the goal scorer.
Moving towards the last half hour of the game here in Krakow, and it's still Ukraine 0, Scotland 0. That, Pat Nevin, was a nervy moment.
It was, and it's very, very unlike him, but Callum McGregor actually did lose the ball there. Usually so confident when he's got his back to the play there, but he lost the ball there in a dangerous area. The good thing is he actually went and won it back, and he needed to.
Ukraine having a good spell at the moment. Malinovsky with a nice turn. Ball on his left foot. Oh, that's a good pass to Dovbyk. Challenge comes in from Hendry. It's crucial. Slides in, gets the ball. The ball goes into Gordon, and the flag was up again anyway for an offside against Dovbyk, but I think that one was tighter.
Very, very tight indeed. And he had to get back there. I think it was Hendry, wasn't it? They had to make that tackle. What a tackle it was anyway. He got in there. He was second favourite for him a long way. He got in there lightning quick. He didn't know. He had to make. Well, we've got another look at it here. Very good play here on the near hand side by Greg Taylor. Seen the danger, looked along the line, take the step out, and once again Scotland living slightly dangerously but doing it right.
Half an hour to go. 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Ukraine 0, Scotland 0. Atmosphere is building, tension is rising. Here's Yarmolenko, who's won it for Ukraine. He's coming more into the game. Plays it to Stepanenko. Mudryk on the run. Stepanenko can't find him. Plays back into his own half. And Ukraine will build and come to the right. And here's Zabani. Zabani floating one with his right foot. Timchik jumps, heads it again, nods it across field. Hendry's there again. He's trying to play a ball out to the left. Couldn't find Kenny McLean. McLean then intercepts that Ukrainian throw. clears with his left foot down the left-hand touchline. Brilliant from Shea Adams to control that and hold Zabani off and play the ball to Callum McGregor. McGregor to Jack, and Jack can't find Fraser. And now this could be dangerous for Scotland. Ball over the top. Dovbyk didn't want to be offside, coming back towards his man, and it's with Craig Gordon again.
As often is the case at this sort of time and again, it's beginning to spread. It's beginning to get a bit more open. It's harder to close down those spaces, and you can see both Scotland and Ukraine are beginning to notice this yet. But for the quick players, they'll enjoy that more. And that's got to be a yellow card.
Got to be a yellow card for Aaron Hickey.
Sure.
Yeah, he was worried there. Mudryk is the danger man. Hickey tried to play the ball past him. Mudryk blocked it. He was then getting away from him down the left, and Hickey just grabbed him and held on to him and just made sure that he couldn't make anything of it. So Hickey gets booked. Ukraine 0, Scotland 0. Rain still falling. Scotland fans just silent for the moment away to the left. I think nerves probably building over there, because as Pat Nevin was saying before the game, it will be one of the great results for Scotland if they can pull it off this evening. Free kick though for Ukraine, so concentration levels for the Scotland defence need to be at their absolute highest at the moment. Malinowski with real pace whips that ball in, and it's over the bar from Zabani, who came sliding in. Difficult to control and keep down, got a touch on it, and behind it goes for the goal kick.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, he is only 4 or 5 yards out, but it's a half volley. If he catches it right, it's in the net. There's not much Craig Gordon can do in that situation, but that's another pretty good chance for the Ukrainians.
0-0. Ryan Jack to the right. Hickey stretches, can't control it. Scotland giving the ball away. Mikalenko to Dovbyk, tried to lay it off to Malinowski. Porteous was there, plays it back to his goalkeeper Craig Gordon, all in green. The clean sheet for Scotland, crucially, still intact at the moment. Callum McGregor whips the ball down the left. Shea Adams, a willing runner as always, chases Zabani. Zabani tumbles over as he clears the ball with his right foot. Back it comes to Matvienko. He plays back to his goalkeeper Lunin. He takes a rather loose first touch. He's forced to go wide to his left-hand side. Mikalenko with the ball up towards the halfway line. Hendry heads it forwards. John McGinn trying to win it. It's loose on the halfway line. Hendry goes forwards again. And it's into Ukraine's hands, or feet, I should say, rather, because here's Timchik bringing it forward down the right. Yarmolenko with the first-time ball. Can Timchik catch that on the right? He's quick. He's not that quick. Goal kick for Scotland.
You notice the difference. The ball comes up to John McGinn there again, and you get to feel most of his energy has been left back at Hampden Park. He's had a very limited effect. Look, he's putting the effort in tonight, but when the ball usually comes up to him, he holds it, he turns it, he brings other players into play. He's just not been able to do that tonight. The power's not been there for him.
Ukraine 0, Scotland 0. Now well into the last half hour of the game here in Krakow. Porteous.
By the way, is that clock stopped? Or is it just me? I think
just
it's
you,
me.
Pat. Just you. Steve Clark still looking as cool as a cucumber. Hands in pockets, thick blue coat on tonight. It's not cold actually, it's just wet. It's wet here in southern Poland this evening. Throw-in's about to be taken by Greg Taylor. Taylor lobs it forward. McLean flicks a header on. Stepanenko heads it away. That's good from McGinn. Nice first touch. Shea Adams, first-time ball, looking for the run of Ryan Fraser. Intercepted. Inatenko clears to the halfway line. Porteous is there. Felt he was shoved over by Dovbyk. Gets the decision. And that's a free kick for Scotland.
Very proud of himself, Porteous, so far. You know, he's actually hardly lost a header, and when he's had to do the clever things like step out in a line to do that. Now remember, you know, he's not played with this team before, and he's not had a lot of time to work on it, and they've got it right, basically every time so far.
Yeah, very unfamiliar back four for Scotland tonight. Hickey, Porteous, Hendry and Greg Taylor. McGregor's ball into the penalty area, headed away by Zabani. Comes out to Greg Taylor on the left. Taylor takes his time. Just over 25 minutes to play. Scotland just needing a point to win the group. Still 0-0. McGregor offside. Yeah. Kenny McLean, beg your pardon, offside.
He's got
wide
to
on
come
the left.
back there. You know, that's an easy one to. When he's run on offside, he should be looking along the line there. I mean, if he makes that run right, Scotland will get the ball in the corner in a dangerous area, and you can go and wipe out another minute's worth of time. So I think Stevie Clark will be disappointed with that. And
Lunin has almost given the ball away. He just took too long to clear it. Shea Adams got a foot in, and Scotland have it, and Ryan Fraser speeding away down the right-hand side. Adams, I mean, that could have gone anywhere. He got half a toe on it. Good run forward from Hickey, into the box, down to the byline. Great tackle on him. Scotland get a corner.
Great moment. And again, that's what Scotland are good at. I mentioned it 3 or 4 minutes ago. When they're playing out for the back, Ukraine just they aren't very good at it. Goalkeeper's not comfortable with the ball at his feet. Adams, as you say, almost got it. But when they get that high press on, they look really frightened by it. So the two most dangerous things that Scotland have got, set pieces, which they've got one just now, and that high press now and again.
Scotland attacking the end where their fans are stationed behind that goal to the left. So if this ends up in the back of the net, they are going to go absolutely berserk. McGinn takes the corner, curling and swirling in the night rain. McGregor lofts another cross up to the far post. Lunin saw that from a long way off and is able to come up and make a clean catch. Jogs out to the edge of the box. Time is running out for Ukraine. Still 0-0. Ukraine need to win the game to win the group.
It's such a tough one by both managers here. You know, do you make a change? You know you've got tired players out there, but you know Ukraine are playing quite well, so why should they make a change? Scotland, you know, you're not losing anything just now, so why should you make a change? That will all change if someone scores a goal.
Timchik attacking down the right hand side for Ukraine. Yarmolenko either miscontrolled or wanted to let that run through. Scotland have cleared up towards Shea Adams. Ryan Fraser's moving quickly down the right if Adams can find him. He plays the ball actually deeper because Aaron Hickey have made the run as well. This looks promising for Scotland. Ryan Jack, good run forward up to the edge of the area. Support on the right from Fraser, early cross, well blocked. Then it hits Fraser again and behind it goes for a Ukrainian goal kick. It's opening up a bit.
That's what I said 2 or 3 minutes ago. Hickey now, he's looking fantastic going into those areas. Yes, he's got a yellow card there, and he spent a lot of the first half or even part of the second half making sure he takes care of Mudryk. However, he is now seeing gaps ahead of him now. He wants to run into them. Got into 2 or 3 really dangerous possessions in the last 5 minutes.
3/4 of the way through the game now, Scotland fans, and I know you're going to be chewing those nails ever more furiously. Triple change coming for Scotland as well. Stuart Armstrong, definitely one of those coming on. We just got a quick shot of those 3 Scotland substitutes in the dugout. I couldn't make out the other 2.
To be honest, the tiredness you begin to see. You need to be able to hold the ball at this point in time. McLean, again, he's lost the ball again.
Yeah.
He can't do that at this rate.
Oh, good tackle, Ryan Fraser. The ball's run to John McGinn. McGinn turns 25 yards from goal, plays it to his right. Positive from Scotland. Here's Hickey. Ball straight into Mikolenko, comes bouncing back. Again, it goes to the right-hand side. Low ball in. John McGinn is going to lay this off. McGregor will drive it, gets underneath it. But it took a deflection, goes behind for the corner to Scotland. Ukraine 0, Scotland 0.
Well, Scotland thinking about making these substitutions. They've just had the best 3 or 4 minutes they've had in the second half. So they've got themselves another corner kick. It is opening up. I'm beginning to see a little bit more tiredness on the Ukrainian side as well. You know, it happens to every team. But you expected it would happen more to Scotland. I would say it's happening a wee bit more to Ukraine just now.
Scotland can score. Ukraine would then need 2, and there's only just over 20 minutes to play. The draw enough for Scotland tonight to win this group. Corner for them. Fraser with his right foot. Good ball in. Drops down here. McLean hits it with his right foot. Scotland appealing for a handball from the initial Fraser corner. Video assistant referee will have the pictures. We'll certainly be having a look. Steve Clark says keep playing, quite rightly. Greg Taylor, long ball from deep. Lunin comes miles off his line, but does really well. Leaps high and makes the catch on the edge of his penalty area.
Well, Lunin's looked a little bit better than the previous goalkeeper. You know, he's coming out, he's caught everything when he's come for it. Decision making's been quite good, but certainly not been asked enough questions like for shots.
Sabani, ball through. Now is the flag going to go up for offside? It's Dovbyk again. Flag stays down at the moment. Dovbyk inside the Scotland penalty area and the ball gets away from him, loops up in the air. Flag stayed down this time, but Craig Gordon has the ball between those big mitts. There's going to be a chance, Pat, isn't there?
There is. I mean, you could see it all the way through. That at some point he's going to get a one-on-one with the goalkeeper, or it may well be that they bring Yaremchuk on at some point in time. By the way, we've had another look at it. He was offside.
Right.
Again.
Still 0-0. In terms of the Ukrainian goalkeeper, slightly disappointed that Yevhen Volynets is not in goal this evening, because that nets as a goalkeeper in nets. I mean,
you're dying to see it.
It's perfect. It's perfect, but I don't think we're going to see him this evening. Right. Triple change on the way for Scotland. Ryan Christie, Stuart Armstrong and Stephen Kingsley is actually coming on to win only his 2nd cap for his country. Recent call-up because of all the injury problems. Last cap under Gordon Strachan back in 2016. It's so funny the way that football works. Here he is in Krakow, 20 minutes to play in a massive game for Scotland. And Stephen Kingsley is going to get his chance. I saw him score a wonderful goal. It was in the Cup semi-final last season. I think you were with me, Pat. Left foot curler. Fabulous goal from Stephen Kingsley.
Huge moment for him. Absolutely huge.
Yep, so here he comes. His number goes up. Greg Taylor comes off. So that's a like for like. Left back for left back. No Tierney, no Robertson tonight. Greg Taylor's done a cracking job so far this evening. He comes off, and Stephen Kingsley of Hearts comes on. Ryan Christie is next to come on. He will replace Ryan Fraser. Quality substitute for Scotland, that. Ryan Christie now playing his club football with Bournemouth in the Premier League, and Stuart Armstrong, not starting many games for Southampton this season, but always a dependable performer for Scotland, and lots of energy.
It doesn't look like Scotland are weakened in any way by these substitutions. I mean, real quality players coming on, real big energy coming on as well. They've wasted a hell of a lot of time making these substitutions as well, which I don't think is a fluke. And
interestingly, Ukraine are the fresher, but not making any changes as of yet. Republic of Ireland 2, Armenia 2 is the latest scoreline. So Armenia have scored 2 in 3 minutes in that game. That's the latest scoreline in the Nations League. Armenia already relegated in this group. Ukraine 0, Scotland 0.
Scotland trying to make a tactical change just now, and it's not obvious. McGinn's desperate to know what he's been asked to do, and he's not sure where to go. And when you make changes like this, the information should come on with the substitutes.
Yeah, it's got to come on quickly. Scotland have got to get it sorted. Shea Adams is still out there. Lyndon Dykes yet to appear. Stuart Armstrong's first pass down the line's intercepted, but Scotland get a throw. Wide on the right-hand side. John McGinn winning his 51st cap.
Yeah, they're still shouting about it out there. I think they're playing, is he going a wee bit further back? He sat there, certainly beside McGregor, so you've got 2 sitting midfielders in front of the 2 centre-backs there, and that gives McGinn a chance to play in behind the striker.
Ryan Jack was the other player to come off for Scotland. Throw in, intercepted, but Jack Hendry quite happy just to let that run past him and go out for a throw to Scotland. Just short of the halfway line, wide on the right-hand side. 17 minutes plus added time to go, and it's still 0-0.
Substitutions are so, as you said, they're so big, and it's partly for a number of reasons, but it's partly just to break up the game as well. You know, if Ukraine get a little bit of head of steam up, Stevie Clark will want to stop that, so he's made those 3 substitutions. They took a little bit of time to do so, and well, the man I mentioned a few moments ago, Yaremchuk, I suspect he'll be on soon.
Yaremchuk now playing his football at Club Bruges. Centre forward getting ready to come on for Ukraine, as is Shiankov as well. So double change coming for Ukraine. Ukraine 0, Scotland 0. Hendry plays to his right. Hickey keeps it, plays it back to Hendry. Ukraine chasing, Malinovsky looking to try and win it back. Scotland have lost it. Kenny McLean steps in, nice bit of skill, drops the shoulder. Then he loses it just inside Ukraine's half. Yarmolenko with a half turn on the halfway line, trying to get it forward to Dovbyk, who goes down very theatrically there. He's a big fella, and the referee is not buying that one. Scotland get it forward to Shea Adams on the left-hand side. Stumbles, uses his strength to hold off the defender and keep the ball. John McGinn collects it 30 yards from goal in a central position. Callum McGregor gets it from McGinn, goes to his right to Hickey. Back to McGregor. Couple of quick 1-2s with Kenny McLean. And now out wide to Kingsley on the left-hand side. Armstrong tries to work one down the line. The last touch came off him. Throw in Ukraine.
And they're going to make their changes now.
Yeah.
They've been desperate to make them for quite some time. Again, a little bit more energy. We knew there were going to be a number of substitutions made. Left them maybe slightly later than I expect them to do.
Dovbyk off for Yaremchuk, centre forward for centre forward. Shiankov comes on for Mudryk, who did look a little more dangerous at the start of the second half, but Scotland have managed to keep him quiet, and he's now out of the action for this evening. All the post-match reaction, debates to whatever happens this evening in the Football Daily podcast, available for you on the BBC Sounds app tomorrow. If you've not been able to listen to today's version as yet, the reaction to England 3, Germany 3 from last night, including a really interesting interview John Murray, our correspondent, did with Luke Shaw in particular, chatting about Harry Maguire. Well worth a listen, so make sure you subscribe to that on the BBC Sounds app.
A big change tactically from Ukraine. They're really going for it now. Yarmolenko's moved up centre forward alongside Yaremchuk, and they're pushing the number 18, Tymchuk, right up there as well. So they're going for it. They have to.
Have to go for it. Have to go for it. Have to win the game to win the group. Scotland are 15 minutes away from what would be a magnificent result and a magnificent achievement.
They've closed Scotland so far there up the pitch. They haven't done that at all in the game, but they've done it so well there that Craig Gordon had to do the good old-fashioned lump up the pitch, and Scotland have lost the ball again. So it's whether they've got the energy to keep on pressing Scotland like this.
Pressure is building from the home team. Ukraine playing this home game, as it were, because they can't play in their own country here in Krakow. Rain has been falling ever since kick-off. Ukraine have it. Matvienko's going to go long down the left-hand side. Scotland have a problem. Hickey's got it covered, happy just to knock it behind. Mikolenko right behind him, goes out for a Ukraine corner.
Well, he didn't want to take a chance there, but Hendry come over. He could have taken it away there. Didn't do so. Given a corner instead of a throw-in in a much more dangerous position.
Just wondered whether they were going to go short with the corner there. They've decided against it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blue shirts in that Scotland penalty area, all marked by the white shirts of Scotland. In that corner comes from wide on the left. It's a deep one to the back of the box. Stepanenko challenges for the header. Headed back here to Matvienko, and Matvienko turns and comes all the way back to his goalkeeper, Andrei Lunin, inside his own half. We're into the last 15 minutes. Ukraine 0, Scotland 0. Northern Ireland trailing Greece by 2-1. But they're not going to get relegated this evening because Cyprus are being thumped by Kosovo. Yarmolenko has the ball at his feet for Ukraine, inside the Scotland half, wide on the right. Inatenko plays it forward. Good play from Yaremchuk, turns it round the corner to Yarmolenko. Cross comes into that Scotland box, and Scotland are able to get it away, eventually hacked away and out for a throw by Kingsley.
A real problem for Scotland. When you've got 4 forwards up against 4 defenders, it's man and man. You've got to get one of those midfielders to drop right back in there, right in front of your centre-backs, or even maybe sitting right beside them. That's why they got that chance.
Mikolenko, cross comes in, diving header away from Jack Hendry. It falls to Yarmolenko, 25 yards out, left-footed cross, chipped up into the box. Hendry wins the header. Oh, Stepanenko volleys it wide. Saw an opportunity, threw himself acrobatically at the ball, caught it sweetly and fizzed it past the left-hand post.
Too many Scotland players watching there. That's maybe the first time in the game that they've not understood what each other's doing. The changes that the Ukrainians have made have really confused that back line, and that is 2 chances within a couple of minutes. Scotland have to adapt that slightly. The 2 centre midfielders, or Stevie Clark, has to do something to give them a little bit of help there. Man for man in these last few minutes is not good enough.
Shay Adams off, Lyndon Dykes on. 12 minutes plus added time to go. Scotland closing in on the point they need to win this group. Goal kick for them. Craig Gordon gets ready to take. Thumps it forward with his left foot. Malinovsky wins the header. Ball drops again to Yarmolenko on the right. Dykes just tries to bump him out of touch. Yaremchuk, clever skill, gets it past Porteous. Hendry's across to cover, does really well for Scotland. The ball runs away to the left back position. He chips it forward down the line. Lyndon Dykes gets his body in the way of Timchik, and that is a foul, and Scotland will have a free kick, and they'll be very grateful for silly challenges like that. Shove in the back.
What brilliant play by Hendry though. I mean, Scotland in big trouble there. Porteous just turned for the first time possibly in the game so far, but that's what you do when your 2 centre-backs working together. You help your mate out, and he got across there and just milked up. Brilliant play.
Ukraine fans think that Scotland are playing for time here. I don't think Craig Gordon's taken an inordinately long time really to take the free kick, but
I don't mind.
Pat doesn't mind, and Scotland fans won't either. You can hear them singing at the moment. Good flick on one by Dykes. Christie can't get there. Cleared up to the halfway line. Porteous wins a header. Ukraine going very positive to try and win this game. Shiankov flies in on Hickey. Free kick for Scotland on the halfway line.
Well done, Hickey. You know, he's on a yellow card just now. He's taking a chance making that tackle. If he gets that tackle wrong, you know, he could be off the pitch. He gets it right, takes the hit himself, and Scotland take a quick free kick.
Yeah, well, if they can get the goal, then Ukraine will need 2. Hickey's fouled again by Shiankov, I think. Assistant referee says no, but Scotland do win the throw wide on the right.
Yeah, again, Hickey, I think he's growing further and further into this game just now. And considering the quality, you know, that Patterson coming in, he's injured now, but you have someone like Hickey to come in and play as well as he's done. And he saw off Mudryk already in this game. And he's actually getting better and stronger as the game goes on.
10 minutes remaining in the game.
But that much?
I know, Pat.
It's torture.
Ukraine 0, Scotland 0. Former Scotland international Pat Nevin kicking every ball live here in the stadium in Krakow. Turn from John McGinn, still out there, battling hard for Scotland. McGinn looking to try and win a corner. The ball's still with him. Knocks it into the body of Stepanenko. Comes back off McGinn. McGinn felt he was actually behind the dead ball line, and that should have been a corner anyway. Decision's gone to Ukraine.
It was a very, very tight one. I know exactly what McGinn's thinking. Corner kick, Dykes on the field, scored 2 last week against Ukraine. Would love to give him another chance.
So, what can Ukraine muster here in the last 10 minutes of the game? Still 0-0. They need to win it to try and rob Scotland of winning the group. Zabani inside his own half. Dykes closes him down. Zabani almost loses it, gets a second chance. Timchik plays it through the legs of Christie. Finds Yarmolenko. Ukrainian fans in front of us enjoyed that. Malinovsky is deep, fires it forward with his left foot. Porteous saw it coming and calmly heads it back to his goalkeeper, Craig Gordon.
He's having a blinder. Porteous is having a superb game. When your international debut, you put under a huge amount of pressure. I mean, honestly, he's hardly put a foot wrong today, and that was a really nice piece of play. I think he's feeling the pace at the moment.
Yeah.
Porteous, a little sneaky feel of his hamstring there, I think.
Okay. Craig Gordon slightly sclaffed the clearance with his left foot. It came off. Christie went out for a Ukraine throw. Matvienko plays the ball up the middle. Yaremchuk goes for a little backheel flick to Malinovsky. Couldn't find him. Skills on the halfway line from Kingsley, but Scotland have lost it here, and Yarmolenko senses a chance to attack down the right-hand side. Yarmolenko keeps going. Can he get the cross into the penalty area? Kingsley is back there to try and block him. He does that with the initial effort. Yarmolenko decides to come all the way back down the right-hand touchline. Here's Timchuk. Timchuk into midfield. Malinovsky lays it off to Inatenko. Back to Malinovsky again with the dark hair. Gets the ball and is able to run at this Scotland defence. Ukraine 0, Scotland 0. 8 minutes to play. Still Malinovsky into the box, looking for the 1-2. Can't get the return pass. Scotland get the bodies in the way. Now a chance to counter. John McGinn on the ball. Knocked over by Mikolenko. Free kick for Scotland. They'll take that all day long.
Do you know what? I'd say 5 yards before John McGinn got tackled there, we knew what was going to happen. He just puts his body in between him and the ball and just waits for the hit to come. Got the hit. And taking a little bit more pressure and eating up a few more Scotland seconds.
Ball down the right for Lyndon Dykes to try and hold on to for Scotland. Trying to close this game out. Foul here by Dykes. Gets a yellow card. Ukraine get a free kick. Goal in the game between Greece and Northern Ireland. Conor McNamara.
It's a third goal for Greece. They lead Northern Ireland by 3-1. Mantalos with a fine shot hit beyond Peacock Farrell, who couldn't get near it. So Greece looking to finish the group with a win. We knew they had already won the group. Northern Ireland grateful that Cyprus have been dismantled by Kosovo tonight. They're going to avoid relegation, but they're not going to avoid defeat here, it would seem. 8 minutes to go. Greece 3, Northern Ireland 1.
Thank you, Connor. Cyprus have scored, but it won't make a difference. You're quite right. Kosovo 4, Cyprus 1. Northern Ireland will stay in the third tier of the Nations League the next time it comes around. Scotland really closing in on heading towards promotion and a pot 2 seeding for the Euro 2024 draw, which is made next month, and the backup of a playoff place if they can't finish in the top 2 of their qualification group. So much at stake, and they are so close to it now.
Yeah, they fought and battled all the way. I mean, a couple of little errors beginning to creep in now, but that's understandable with tiredness, you know. But can Ukrainians actually make any capital out of those errors now and again?
Lyndon Dykes wide on the left for Scotland. Not too much support for him. He's happy to hold on to it up there, the QPR centre forward, and he's won a throw. Does his job.
Yeah, well done, Dykes. I mean, just that little bit of extra energy. I mean, Shea Adams, he's better at holding the ball up. However, Lyndon Dykes has got that extra energy now, and he has held the ball up well, did exactly the right thing. But he'll be thinking, he's a striker, he'll be thinking, give me one cross to attack, just one.
Ukraine 0, Scotland 0. Point enough for Scotland to win the group. 5 minutes plus added time to play. They're almost there. Ryan Christie to Callum McGregor. If they could score, that could almost be that. Armstrong. Somehow the pass gets through to Kenny McLean. Christie moves onto the ball, plays it to Kingsley, wants to get that cross in. Good ball. Lunin's able to come out, grab it at the near post. Dykes was threatening.
And that was Dykes, that's what he wanted, just a little bit too close to the goalkeeper there, but you understand why he plays it in there.
Ukraine with some quick fire passing inside their own half. Scotland get enough bodies in the way. Yarmolenko is very deep for the home team. Lays the ball off and goes sauntering forward Can they fashion a decent chance to test Craig Gordon late in this game? Yaremchuk trying to run away from Jack Hendry. Hendry's got him covered, plays it back to Gordon. Oh, it's a miscue from Gordon, he's all right. Playing the ball into midfield. McGregor lays it off to Kenny McLean. Now it's thumped forward by Porteous. Stuart Armstrong will chase. Ukraine just got to be a little bit careful here. The ball is with Matt Vienko. He's in the left back position. Lyndon Dykes cuts off the back pass. Matt Vienko brings it forward down the left hand side.
He can't tackle. Dykes can't tackle. He's got a yellow card. I think if he hadn't got that silly yellow card a few moments ago, he could have got much closer and slowed Ukraine down. As it is, he's had to be sensible and Ukraine get out.
4 minutes plus added time remaining. Kosovo 5, Cyprus 1. Porteous at full stretch, does look tired now, manages to make the interception. Yarmolenko onto the loose ball, tries to beat Porteous, stands in his way. Christie plays a ball infield to Kenny McLean, inside his own half, looking to find Dykes. Brilliant centre forward play from Dykes. Zabani's right behind him, has to foul him. Scotland get the free kick.
Brilliant moment there from Dykes. He's done exactly what he's been asked to do, and this is the last throw of the dice now from the Ukrainians, and they make 2 more changes.
Double substitution. Alexander Pikhailanok is going to come on, and Alexander Zubkov of Shakhtar Donetsk. Yarmolenko is one of those to make way. Ukraine ringing the changes. Time running out for them. 3 minutes to play, plus added time here in Krakow as the rain continues to fall. Scotland so close to a stunning result and a fabulous achievement. Free kicks taken down the left-hand side. Running forward to try and win the headers, Kenny McLean goes out for a throw into Ukraine, but it's deep inside their own half.
You know, you expected at some point for, a real charge. A consistent chasing down of Scotland. It's not really happened yet, has it? Scotland have really managed it so far. But, it doesn't matter. You don't need a chance. You just need one chance.
Dykes lays it off to McGinn. McGinn stumbling forward, finds Christie. Christie's going to hold on to this and just try and run the clock down and take it down to the corner flag on the left-hand side. Tackled. That'll be a throw-in to Scotland.
I think Scotland would have liked a free kick instead. It was about 20 yards out. It was a definite free kick on McGinn there, but taken down to the corner, trying to wind down a little bit of time. I usually hate when teams do that. Strangely, don't mind it at the moment.
2.5 minutes to play. Ukraine, of course, got the better of Scotland in the World Cup playoff semi-final. Scotland won 3-0 last week, and here it's 0-0, which is going to do for Scotland. Won't make up for the heartache of missing out on the World Cup, but goodness me, if they can win this Nations League group, it'll be a massive step forward for them. Anthony Ralston is waiting to come on for Scotland. We're into the 89th minute of the game. It's still 0-0. Now the ball breaks loose. Pikhailanok plays it to Mikolenko on the left-hand side. Danger lurking for Scotland here. Smoke drifting across the Scotland penalty area away to our right. A couple of flares have been let off there. Scotland have all the white shirts behind the ball at the moment as time ticks away in this game. Tymchuk plays it in field to Pikhailanok. Forward to the edge of the penalty area. Yaremchuk lays it back to Tymchuk. Tymchuk just about gets the pass away to Inatenko. Back to Matt Vienko. Some very tired legs out there after this week of international football, and Scotland oh so close at the moment. Zabani, every outfield player inside the Scotland half, closing in on that Scotland penalty area. Cutting in from the right is Shiankov, looking for the 1-2. Still Shiankov, little back heel to the edge of the box. Scotland getting bodies in the way. Good tackle. Shot is driven from the edge of the box by Pikhailanok. Referee waves away the penalty claims as there was an attempted block on the shot in the box, and it goes behind for a corner to Ukraine.
Well, a big moment here. Is he going to look at it? That was a neat little piece of play. Lots of little 1-2s, back flicks. If there is a possibility of it, the VAR will be looking at it.
It's Zubkov who is down hurt. We'll have a look at the replay now. Ukraine were working some close stuff in and around the penalty area. Scotland throwing bodies in the way. It looks like he got the ball to me.
It does. It certainly does.
Have another look, Pat, here. Porteous again. I think he's got the ball.
Yeah. It's a dangerous one to make.
Yeah.
He's got the player between him. And the referee's coming over, and he's actually just going to book, I think.
The coach, Ukrainian coach, I think that's Alexander Petrakov, who's got booked. Scotland going to make another change. Aaron Hickey's going to come off late on here. Anthony Ralston will replace him. Smoke continuing to drift across that Scottish penalty area. We're into added time at the end of this game. I'm not entirely sure how much added time is still to be played.
Is he going to allow this substitution to happen before the corner kick? Yes, yes.
4 minutes. 4 minutes of added time. Scotland are 4 minutes away. Spain have scored late away to Portugal. Could be a goal that takes them to the Nations League finals next summer. Morata has scored in the 88th minute. Corner for Ukraine. High swinging one into the box. Loads of blue shirts in that penalty area. Scotland get it clear. Headed wide to Shiankov. Ball is played down the right-hand side to Inatenko. Good block on the cross, and behind it goes for a Ukraine corner. This is getting desperate for Ukraine. It's getting nervy for Scotland.
It's getting very desperate for Scotland now. This is probably the best few minutes that they've had in the second half, getting into dangerous areas, throwing everything to Scotland out. Corner kick.
3 minutes remaining in the game. Corner comes into that Scotland penalty area to the far post. Stepanenko's up, heads it wide. Goal kick for Scotland. Craig Gordon's going to take plenty of time. Ukrainian ball boy very hopefully slings him a ball back quickly so he can restart the game as soon as possible. I don't think Craig Gordon's going to go for that.
That's a massive relief.
That's a bag of nerves.
Well,
here.
the mad thing is, we did the thing you never do.
Yeah.
We made a defensive substitution at a corner kick, and you know that often works against you. But fortunately for Scotland, it didn't work against Scotland. And 4 minutes.
2.5 back. 2.5 to go.
I think he may add more than that because there was a break in play during that.
Robbie Brady has scored in the 91st minute for the Republic of Ireland. They were 2-0 up against Armenia, got pegged back to 2-2. They now lead 3-2 in this group. Stepanenko chips a pass forward. Kenny McLean is there. Happy just to play that into the Ukrainian half. 2 minutes of added time remaining. Pat Nevin here thinks there might be a little bit more than that as well. Matvienko plays the ball to the left. Can Scotland hold on? Missing so many players for this game this evening, having given absolutely everything over the last week for their country. It will be a huge result for them if they can pull it off. Zabani, the centre-back, plays it forward. Gets the return pass. McGinn is able to intercept, and now Scotland are able to break from inside their own half, but the pass is overhit to the left, and Lyndon Dykes can't be found by Porteous, and it goes out for a throw into Ukraine.
To be fair, there was a bit of a rush of blood here, and Stevie Clark, one of the Scotland officials, is having a word with him.
Chris Woods, is he trying to call Chris Woods over?
That's fine.
One of the coaching team. Someone's got booked down there.
It's a real shame that, because Porteous broke free. But, you know, he's a published forward Scotland player.
Minute of added time remaining. Still 0-0. Glorious 0-0 if Scotland can hold on and get the result. Ball's out for a throw into Ukraine. Attacking position on the right-hand side. 4th minute of added time being played. They're very nearly there. Desperation again. Callum McGregor leaps in, clears the ball, and it goes out for a Scotland throw. You could hear the roar from the Scotland fans away to our left-hand side. What a night they're going to be having in Krakow tonight if Scotland can get this one over the line. And what a job done by Steve Clarke and his team. Throw in for Scotland inside their own half, down the left towards Lyndon Dykes. Who won the header? Throw in Scotland again. Perfect for them.
Absolutely brilliant. Again, Dykes, you know, just making a complete nuisance of himself. He's been very, very strong when the ball's coming up. He wants the ball thrown it to him again. If Scott can get it down in the corner, that might be enough.
Steve Clarke's been asking how long left in the game. I can tell him 20 seconds of added time. That's the minimum minutes that can be added. There could be a little bit more. The perfect thing for Scotland is they've got the ball in the Ukrainian half. McGinn flicks it round the corner, can't keep it in play. Throw in for Ukraine. Desperation time for them now, because the 4 minutes of added time are up, and Scotland fans away to our left hear that full-time whistle and celebrate wildly in Krakow. Steve Clarke is immediately surrounded by his coaching team. He's wrapped up in a massive group hug. Scotland have won the group. They are promoted to the top tier of the Nations League. They will go into pot 2 of the seeds for the qualifying draw for Euro 2024. And if they can't finish in the top 2 of that group, they will have a playoff place for the Euros in the bag as well. Fantastic result, fantastic achievement.
That's extraordinary. I mean, the work rate, the organisation, under such extreme difficulties. Look, we know Ukraine have got plenty of difficulties themselves, but to come here and do that job and stay concentrated with so many new and different players is incredible. And I just watched the Scotland players, the reaction at the end was a little bit of celebration, but they're exhausted, they're gone, they couldn't jump about. Whereas I looked down at the assistant, the manager, etc., they went absolutely mad.
Pat, you mentioned this before the game. There is a fantastic bond developing between these two countries, and I have to say the embrace between both players on the full-time whistle here is absolutely wonderful to watch. Both of them suffered the heartache of not making the World Cup this year. More heartache for Ukraine because they don't get promoted. But you have to credit Scotland because, Pat, ahead of this game, with the players that Steve Clarke had missing, with the back four he had to put out this evening, that was fabulous.
You know, Scotland had to play offside probably about 9 times. High line, get it right every single time, with a centre-back that hasn't played for them before, and 2 full-backs that are not normally there. Playing a back four when they usually play a back five. I mean, as our old manager used to say, everything in their favour is against us. And it was exactly that. But they still managed to do it, and it tells you something about Steve Clarke and his group, that they can get this organisation, but they can get the spirit as well. It's extraordinary what he's got out of them in these last 3 games. It's not just this game, it's these last 3 games. The expectation was Scotland wouldn't get there. 2 wins and a draw. Wow.
Scotland fans love them for it, and at the moment we can see those Scotland players, and Pat Nevin's quite right, they're too tired to leap around and properly celebrate the result, and they are standing there exhausted and just about holding their hands above their head to applaud the Scotland fans, and the Scotland fans are singing back at them, and they are going to have some night in Krakow tonight. The draw was enough. Scotland got it, and actually in the second half Craig Gordon didn't really have any world-class saves to make. Fabulous performance. It's finished Ukraine 0, Scotland 0. Scotland win the group.
Ali, what a fantastic win for Scotland. Pat Nevin, always so considered, always so calm on air. Pat, the nerves were coming through in your voice. It was a very rare occasion. How long was that second half?
Honestly, those last 20 minutes lasted forever, and those last 10 minutes, I'll never get them back again. But I don't want them back again. It was toucher, but when you calm down and you look at it, you think, well, actual fact, there weren't that many chances. There was one really nice save by Craig Gordon from coming in, Modric coming in from the left-hand side, and he got a really strong left hand to it. Other than that, I mean, the organisation, if you'd have told me 2 weeks ago Hickey was going to be a star man, Taylor was going to be brilliant, and not hardly give Yarmolenko a kick of the ball, and you go through the entire team. But I think a lot of people will be looking at it tomorrow, and they'll be looking at Ryan Porteous and thinking, we never thought he would have a sniff of getting into this team this quickly, and he was an absolute star in this game. So, well done Scotland, well done everyone. Really, really, I'll use a word I don't often use. I'm proud of them. I'm really proud of them to put that amount of effort in over 3 games, and that amount of belief in. They really deserve to get this, what they've worked so hard for, under Stevie Clarke, for quite some considerable time. These are rather good times for Scottish football just now. 2 teams in the Champions League group stage, and the national team looking very, very good at the moment.